Hello, welcome to the Tabletop Sports Network. I'm one of your hosts, Rob, and I'm joined by Mr. Tom Loves Crystals Layton.
I do.
You do.
You know what else I love?
What do you love?
Big Eldar armies full of
Oh,
skins.
don't spoil the surprise. That's but yeah, you're going to see some Eldar. So Tom, you've been this is round 3 of the Vale Renegade Open, Echoes of War 4, held here at Firestorm's Wargaming in sunny Cardiff. The Vale Renegade guys are a wargaming group here in Wales, and lovely blokes.
Yeah, good guys.
Like lovely guys. So like
This is why I pretend to be Welsh.
Yeah, because they're just clearly the best.
Yeah.
Clearly the best. So it's a 40k event, ITC, 2,000 points, 5 rounds. This is battle round 3. We've got 2 tomorrow. Please join us for that. Find out who the winner is. I'll tell you now, it's going to be Marines. Yeah, right. There's zero way it's Marines, unless that Eldar army that I can see is going to win it. But we'll find out.
I believe.
Now, Tom, you've been doing table bossing on our 3-game setup now for the past 2 rounds. How have you found it?
I've been upgraded. It's been all right actually.
Yeah.
You're running up and down the tables. I've got a lot of cardio in. Been tweeting about that. It's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Hopefully one of these games. Well, not hopefully one of these games ends quickly because what it costs to make some miles now.
Yeah. Nick's now our new tech table boss, with Tom still doing our overlay, so you get all the scores updated, which is really fun. Looking forward to seeing these games. Big shout out to Neil Kerr in the chat. Hope you're well. So we've got 3 games for you, and we're going to bring them to you now. Table 1. Let's get into it. We've got.
I think you're quite excited about this one, aren't you, Rob?
I am, because it's got some AdMech in it. So you got Imperial Fist. So if you type the list will be in the chat when you want to see the lists. So you got Crimson Fists, no Imperial Fists. Sorry, the Yellow Boys versus an AdMech kind of army, but it does also have, I think you describe them as Smashy Boys.
I do describe them as Smashy Boys.
Yeah, Smashy Boys, which are actually historied and storied heroes of the Imperium.
Yes, but they're so common, it's pretty much irrelevant at this point.
Didn't even let me finish my hyperbole before we got on with calling them Smashy Boys. There they are. There's some of the Smashy Boys here. I mean, what is beautiful? That's a beautiful army, right?
So those are the Imperial Fists, and what they're doing is they're just bunking down, I believe. I think they won the roll-off to see who gets to choose to be attacker.
They do.
So they are sticking themselves down first.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing here is we're essentially seeing these guys. They're doing Vanguard Strike Deployment, which is what these dice are over here. So I just got a nice yellow line to represent the Imperial Fists, and that's perfect. And that's going to stay there for a while, because what we have in the other army is we have 2 Invicta Warsuit drop.
We do.
And what these things can do is they can set up 9 inches away from the deployment zone, so I'd expect them to go somewhere. I'm just going to draw some lines. Somewhere outside of there, which means...
What's their job going to be?
Their job is generally often just to put pressure on the enemy army early. The difference here is that because you know that the Imperial Fists have got choice of turn unless you seize, which apparently on these teams is quite common. So because you know that, it may be possible. It may be more attractive to stick them somewhere where it's a little bit hard to shift them, but they can still apply a little bit of pressure. Not full pressure, as in if they would if it stood up there. Maybe somewhere like behind this L or something, where they can hide a little bit more, be a little bit harder to shift, but also be somewhere where they can apply a bit more pressure. It is going to be interesting to see how easy it is to remove them, though, because we do have, as you can see in the backfield here, a couple of whirlwinds just hid back there, ready to dish out some damage from afar without being able to see you, because I love indirect fire. What about you?
Well, I find indirect fire both cowardly and awful all at the same time. Yeah, I feel the idea of just willy-nilly throwing ordnance out there to be insanity. But
it's not willy-nilly if you're hitting on 2s, Rob.
With re-rolling those
I can't
ones.
see you. Doesn't matter. I'm going to hit you every time.
Every single time. Yeah. Where if I'm an orc 1 inch away with a pistol, very unlikely to hit you.
I remember the good old days where orc blast weaponry that was indirect fire was more accurate than the normal guns because you could just guess the range.
Okay, so that Imperial Fist army that we're seeing there is up against an AdMech army with 3 Smashy Boys. So really interesting. We're going to find out if there's a seize. Last battle round on our 3 game tables, we saw 2 seize rolls.
We did see 2
so
seizes.
Really important.
And that had big impact.
So let's go to table 2 because I know that this is going to excite you a lot. Hi, Sinise in the chat. Hope you're good. Tristan, what up? Welcome to everyone who's joined us. Look at how many. Oh my god.
Can we fit them all on the screen?
we can.
Look at it, it's just blending in with the blue back here. That's quite nice,
how dare it? How dare it? So we've got an Iron Hands, unsurprisingly we have an Iron Hands force, as we do every single time, and the Iron Hands are going first, but we get a seize roll come in. And it is
not a seize.
It's not. Oh wait, it's happening live now in front of us.
That's also not a seize, that's a 1.
It's not a
So
seize,
that's
it's a
definitely not
1.
seize. So the Iron Hand's deployed first, under the command of Jay Seaburn, my old teammate, and he has deployed in the frontline assault formation. That is the deployment type that they are running, which is why all of these Eldar vehicles are very much pinned back. Not because they are cowardly spell elves, but because that is where they have to go, because they're such a big footprint. So, Iron Hands have decided to go first, and now what I'd imagine we'd see here is because they're right next to us, so it's kind of a little bit careful.
Yeah, but you have to talk loud enough that the audience can hear.
I understand that. So, first thing we've seen is the Iron Stone has been popped on the Leviathan Dreadnought. And
which is right here.
You got it. So, the reason why this is important for Jay to get the first turn isn't because I think that he can do massive amount of damage to the Eldar Alliance, although I think he can take out a couple of vehicles. I think the important thing that we need to consider here is that you've got these 2 massive L's in the centre of the board. Now, you do have some indirect fire on the side of the Eldar Alliance because they are there are Night Spinners in there, they do 2 damage, indirect fire, 2d6 shots. No AP, bit of a problem. And as damage 2, they're going to get their damage halved when they're firing at that Leviathan because of the Iron Stone anyway. But what you can do is you can essentially walk your Iron Hands into these L's and potentially cause an issue for these Eldar to really remove them because you've only got tanks come around the side, maybe a fire prison can go around the side and you link fire, and then you've got your Night Spinners.
Yeah, so exactly what you're talking about here. These Nova Elves.
We just went on my screen. So
yeah, they some would say that they define the game, and they have done in every game that we've done so far. They've really defined it. So knowing that they're going to be at an event has really changed the shape of some of these battles. Honestly, I've not seen anything. I'm reminded of the coverage I did last year at CCBB, where the tables they kept changing the terrain, so it was genuinely a very dynamically different game. This, it seems, quite commonplace.
Yeah. I do have a question.
There are a lot of Iron Hands here.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Iron Hands here. And Sinise in the chat is saying, all the Iron Hands in the universe can't bring back 1 head. We would have to ask some of our Iron Hands players how they feel about that. Probably sad.
Very sad.
Yeah. So let's just talk about the army list for a second. So what is the Eldar army rocking there? Because that is a crazy amount of...
It is. So if you put exclamation mark lists in the chat, you can get all the lists for yourself. But in there you have 3 Night Spinners, and then you have 3 Fire Prisms. Now, the Fire Prisms are deployed in quite an interesting way. So you can see, if you look in that top left corner here, those are the 3 Night Spinners. Now, if you look at the Fire Prisms, I believe it's only 2, actually. I can only spot 2 Fire Prisms on there. This is true, it's only 2, but what has happened here is you have something called a Link Fire stratagem, which allows, basically, 2 Fire Prisms to get rerolls to hit and to wound. There are a couple of caveats with this. Firstly, 1 Fire Prism has to fire at the end of the phase, so it fires last. But also what it means is, you can fire from a singular location. So the lore effectively is, if I have a Fire Prism in this back corner, in the top right here, that Fire Prism can move up, this Fire Prism shoots into this Fire Prism, and then it shoots into there. It's like you bounce it off the mirrors, like in some kind of weird Indiana Jones style.
Nice, I like that. That's your reference point. Yeah, for refracting light.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's only 1 command point as well. Although I don't tend to use too many command points, but as you can see here, you've got 9 command points on the Eldar army, which is quite a lot for the Eldar army.
Yeah, I agree. It's actually an incredibly daunting army. Like when you look at it,
intimidating.
Look at how many shots that are coming out there, and they've all got. They're not all got, but these guys are reducing damage coming in.
They are. So they've got something called a Serpent Shield, and the Serpent Shield is you take -1 to every time something hits you. It's -1 damage to a minimum of 1, rounding up. So the way that it works here is you can also choose to pop that shield. So you can lose that rule, but instead do D3 mortal wounds to the close enemy unit within 18 inches of that phase.
And I think actually the Iron Hands army could suffer quite a bit there because they've got very good saves. They can reduce damage coming in, but they can't reduce that mortal wound damage coming in. So I think it's a good counter pick. Let's just quickly move on to table 3 because now on table 3 we've just heard. I think we've heard who's
Crimson
going first.
Fists are going first. There,
Crimson Fists are going first. So, okay. That's pretty big. So again, look at who's back again. The Renegade Master. That's Terrence, who is at the top of the board, but that seems to be the wrong way around. Terrence is at the top.
Yeah, it's alright. We'll sort it.
Yeah.
It's okay. We know which one's Terrence. We know which one's also Liam Corrode Royal. He is running his Crimson Fist, and he's doing exactly what we were talking about earlier with the previous game, where you take your army and you run it into the terrain, because you can't really remove it. This is especially true for the Astraeus and for the Leviathan, which I believe is here. They can't really see things that are outside of line of sight. They don't have much ignore line of sight like we have in Warwinds that we talked about earlier. So if we take these Crimson Fists, they are now running into these blocks of terrain are not traditional overells, but they are line of sight blocking. So you take your army, you shove it in
like
there,
you said something
and
that's traditional, that's not even
easy.
not even been around for a year yet. Yeah, those traditional L-shaped things. So yeah, the Crimson Fists versus the Iron Hands. Really, it's who's got the stronger bony boys is the question. Like at the end of a wrist, who has got the stronger hand? Is it a red hand or is it a hand made of metal?
Is it a hand that's kind of like...
Yeah, who are you rooting for? Twitch chat, who are you rooting for in this game?
At
this point, you have to root for Marines pretty much. Otherwise, you're rooting for Eldar. And who will ever do that? Yeah? The answer is never me.
Well, okay, I've got to ask you a question on this game too.
Yeah,
because on one hand, you have Eldar.
Game 2, sure.
The traditional menace of 40k.
What,
on
Eldar?
The other hand, yes.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you have Iron Hands. The current menace of 40k.
Yeah.
Who would you like to win and why?
I think I would like Iron Hands to win.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the first time anyone said that.
It's not the first time. Yeah, it's not the first time. It's not the first time I've heard that, but I just think that they deserve their day in the sun. They deserve their day in the sun. Always Crimson Fists, says Areem Night Spinner. Neil Kerr says he's rooting for the Astreus because it is so stupid. So back on table 3,
it's cool, yeah.
We saw the Astreus win last round versus the Tau army, which was just hilarious. The Tau army was charging in. We didn't think it was aggro enough.
Well, it wasn't charging in, this is the problem. But
it was, yeah. And Sinise is right.
Yeah.
Tom Layton, actually, weirdly, you are the traditional menace of 40k.
True. Yeah,
that's
I am
100% true.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get some... Okay, so we're going to go to table 1, table 2. So our table boss is going to bring us some information from what's been happening on table 2.
Update from table 2. Jay, the Iron Hands player, has gone first. He's pushed forward on the left and the right with his infiltrators. He's also pushed forward the centre of his castle with the intercessors. The Scorpiuses had the Litany Catechism of Fire put on the Scorpius. That gives it +1 to hit against shooting. He's got the Eliminators in the central L and also on the left-hand side. Got the Thunderfire, the back left-hand corner. He's basically moved forward and he's targeting the Wave Serpent. Liam has deployed quite defensively. He said during his deployment he was going to try and hide as much as possible just to keep his Mech Eldar alive. But it looks like the Iron Hands have got quite a lot of shooting to bring to bear on those, so we'll see how that goes. Right, so I'm going to head over to table 1.
Awesome, thank you very much, Nikos. And he's away. Alright, cool. So we've basically just seen what was happening on that table 2 there. It was pretty much as we expected it to happen.
No, it wasn't. We expected to happen. Can we go back to table 2, please? I wasn't expecting this at all. Let me tell you what I wasn't expecting.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting Eldar to hide. No, that's completely wrong. I wasn't expecting to hide because they're all cowards. The damn
Who do you
space
think
elves.
you are, Ian Sterling?
Yeah, no, I'm just mad about this.
Terrible
What are they doing?
Hiding.
Yeah, what do you... Like,
Not very well. Look at the size of these things. Look at that. I can see bits here. I can see bits here.
Yeah, they are not hiding well at all. And they're blue.
They're bright blue.
Yeah, they're not blending
blue.
into anything in any way, shape, or form. Right, okay, so we heard from Nick. He's ready to give us an update from table 1. No? Okay, not yet. All right,
he's
sweet.
absorbing information like a sponge.
Okay.
Apparently, all right, never mind. We're not going to say
No, our
that.
table master said almost nothing has happened in any of the games.
Well, I
so
good to know. That looks like a pretty close distance, and it appears that this Wave Serpent has been shot at.
It has. We've lost a chipped wound on there.
Yeah, lost a chipped wound. Yes, indeed. But it's okay because you have 5 of them.
But what has happened on
much.
table 1? Let's go to that. We've seen the game started, right? And we can see. We know for a fact that the game has been initiated.
Now, here's the thing I'm curious about with this game. Where are the Invicta warsuits?
Yeah, the Invicta warsuits on the tabletop.
Can't spot them either in real life or on the stream, which means that I feel he's hidden them very, very well. Either that, or they just don't exist. Oh, and Wayne's forgotten the Invictus. That's why we can't see them.
Wayne has forgotten to deploy his own Invictus. Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. I'm getting involved. The Invictus were forgotten. The Invictus are now coming out. They're bright red, so I'm not entirely sure how this has happened.
So
that's okay.
And so, in what can only be described as a lovely display, Paul has let him put them on.
Yeah.
Put them on. Twitch chat, do you think that... There
Clap
you go.
in the chat.
There they are, claps in the chat. So there are the...
These are the Invictus war suits.
They're the Invictus war suits.
It feels like I'm playing. It's great. I love it.
Do you often, Tom, forget to deploy some of your units as kind of like an early game mind strategy to use against your opponent?
The worst that happened is I forgot to deep strike my looters on turn 2, so I just did it turn 3, and it was fine.
Yeah, that works.
I also did play a guy who was coming back to 8th edition, and he put his Fire Warriors in reserve, thinking he could just walk them on the edge of the board.
Wow.
Of course you can't.
You cannot.
No.
That is not correct.
I let him have that because I'm an excellent sport.
Okay, well that's very nice.
I'm very humble.
So the Imperial Fist, in their turn, they've moved forward. They are playing the aggressors in this situation. Apparently, Tom, you also forget that your Grey Knight units can cast other powers than just Smite. I'd like to point you to a YouTube channel where you'll be able to find some great information about Grey Knights.
I'd like to point something out. I didn't forget that. I didn't know it in the first place. I also didn't know that I could deep strike my strike squads for free, and yet I conceded the game anyway because I got a different rule.
But you will know in the future, and how the tides will turn when you know.
Yeah,
thank you. That's my pun of the weekend.
Yeah, I've now played 17 games, so I think I've got most of the rules learned. I probably don't have many.
So we are now going to go to table 3. We got that big Astraeus, right? We got the Crimson Fists that have moved forward, but the Astraeus is about to start shooting into them. Well, I'm not sure. No.
I would assume so.
No. Before that, though, the Crimson Fist are going to shoot into the Astraeus and see if the Crimson Fist can do what an entire Tau army could not do. Yeah. So going over to our table boss now to find out what's been happening on table 3.
Well, Rob, what has been happening is Liam has been stacking some buffs on his Centurion squad in the centre. He's put the Litany +1 to wound and also the Crimson Fist stratagem Tank Hunters, and he's targeted all of them onto the Leviathan. And Terence has responded by putting Duty Eternal and Cogitated Martyrdom on the Leviathan. Pretty classic combo to try and keep it alive. So all of those wounds are going to go bounce off onto the Intercessors. We're just seeing that rolled out now. So we'll see if any damage at all goes through onto the Leviathan. Back to you guys in the commentary booth.
So, Tom, listen, yeah? You seemed upset by that as a decision. Look at those Space Marines. Go on, lads.
I'm not entirely sure if the Astraeus is in range or in line of sight, but I'm getting rather tired of people constantly firing at this Leviathan. They really hate it.
They also don't ever kill it. I would just like to point out that at this stage we'll have covered 9 games by this round. We've had like a Leviathan on one or every other table, and they just haven't died. Like, it's ludicrous.
And people have been shooting everything at them. Stop it.
They also heal.
They heal. They've got -1 to the damage because of the Ironstone, assuming that you can
I think the Ironstone's going to be on the Atraeus. It definitely is.
You have half damage because you can pop a stratagem for it, and then you can lob the wounds onto your other guys. You're not killing that thing, wasting shots.
Yeah, but then also, arguably, are you even killing the Atraeus?
Now,
so the truth is, what are you even killing?
Now, the argument here is, well, I'm going to shoot the Leviathan because you're going to bounce wounds off of the Intercessors, and as you can see, some Intercessors have already been taken off.
Okay, it's a good strategy.
Yeah, if you want to do that, because you obviously can't shoot at the Intercessors with most of your things anyway. You've got 2 Whirlwinds, I believe, down here. They can shoot at them naturally, and that's about it, really, right?
Yeah.
So you might as well go, well, I'm not going to kill the Leviathan over here. I can't kill the Astraeus, but I probably can try and kill some of these guys by forcing the Leviathan to bounce some wounds off onto the other fellows, because Leviathans, they have 14 wounds. You know, they're pretty durable units. You're probably not going to kill it, but at the same time, it's not like you have 20 wounds or 24 wounds and you just kind of burn wounds for free. You have to be passing those heavy shots on, especially when you've buffed up your Centurions.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And as Neil was saying in the chat, do you think it's a good idea to kill the other units around it? Also, if I'm wounding Leviathan that's toughness 8, then it's passing the wounds off to the Intercessors who are toughness 4. Surely it makes more sense for me to shoot in at the toughness 4 things
100%,
and guarantee the output.
Yeah. So normally it would. Normally it would be beneficial to do that. The problem is if you can't even target the other unit in the first place. For example, there is a nice little L here, and that had all of the Intercessors just wrapped up in there. Now, you can still hit that with whirlwinds, as we were speaking about earlier, but you can't hit it with things like the Centurions because they just don't have line of sight to it. So you just go, well, I'm going to shoot the Centurions, I'm going to shoot your Leviathan, the Leviathan's going to then haul the wounds off onto the Intercessors, and then I'm going to clear up the remaining Intercessors with the whirlwinds at the back and the Thunderfire cannon.
Okay, I think reducing how much damage can come in, I think, is going to be quite important. But then truthfully, that we've seen these Leviathans at this stage just walk into the center of the board and just delete everything, and then just keep going. They literally walked through a Necron army on their own earlier, which is hilarious. That's not including the fact that they're backed up by this man monster tank, which is just ludicrous to have on the board. I'd just like to point out, but I'm enjoying it loads. Yeah. So we're going over to table 2 now, where we've seen that, who knows what to even call this Eldar army, apart from gross, obviously, Tom.
One man's trash is
up against, let's spot the Leviathan. It's kind of like spot the Leviathan on every table at this stage. And we're going to go to our main man and our table boss, Nick. He's going to let us know what's been happening in this game so far.
Hello, welcome to table 2. We have Jay's Iron Hands versus Liam's Eldar, his Mech Eldar. So far, we're still in the middle of the Iron Hands shooting phase. We have one Wave Serpent down, and we have another Wave Serpent here on the left. It is about half wounds. It's got 5 wounds remaining, it looks like. And the Whirlwinds are still firing. The Scorpius did some damage to one of the Wave Serpents, and the other 2 Whirlwinds got slightly longer range. They're targeting the Night Spinners now. It looks like Jay, because his secondaries are Big Game Hunter, Mark for Death. It looks like he's trying to get as many of those early, so he's got obviously Big Game Hunter for all the vehicles, and I think he's marked for death 4 of the other ones. So we're coming to the end of the shooting phase, the Iron Hands. I don't think there's many charges. Maybe the Infiltrators on the left-hand side for Jay might have a little charge. Or maybe the Infiltrators on the right as well, but that looks like a longer charge. So we'll see if that happens upcoming, and we'll see how Liam can respond in his shooting phase. Back to the commentary booth.
Thank you very much, Nick. So, look, how much output can the Eldar army do realistically, Tom?
Lots.
But can they do? Can they clear this? We just talked about that Leviathan that doesn't die, and it's now just stood at the middle, literally taunting an entire force.
I'd really like to see the wording specifically on the pass wounds off to your chaff stratagem for the Iron Hands.
Yeah.
I forgot what the name is called. But I was wondering, can you pass off a mortal wounds caused by a Wave Serpent shield?
Yeah, by the way, as an Orc player, the level of respect that you pass to intercessors and just calling them chaff is right up my street. Yeah, stupid humies.
They are stupid humies.
Yeah, 100%.
But I also want to draw attention to one of the secondaries Jay's gone for, and Jay's gone for King of the Hill. Now, Jay going first...
Give me that top down.
...is incredibly important, because King of the Hill is essentially, if you stand troop units, I believe, in the centre of the board, for every turn that you have that, you end up getting points for that. So, what Jay really, really needs to do is he needs to get those interceptors in the centre of the board to get those points, right? So, there's a couple of ways that can go wrong. The first way that can go wrong, Eldar go first, Eldar stick all of their stuff in the middle, that's a kick. And then they just block you off, and you're going to go, right, well, I charge in, but I was
going to say, a couple of ways you could go wrong. You definitely already have gone wrong.
Oh, have I?
They're just as a person.
Oh, that's understandable. No, that's fine. Everyone does. That's part of the fun of being human, right?
Yeah.
So that's fine. So we stick those in the middle. The second way that this can go wrong, if the intercessors are around here, what can push them out? Well, you're not going to take your Night Spinners and shove them in, are you? You're going to use them to shoot, but you're not going to clear all of them. They've got good numbers of shots, but it's going to be a lot. My word.
Whoa, let's go straight to
table 3.
Let's go straight to table 3, and you will see something missing at the front of that.
In a minute, you will.
No, it's the top down. Let's get it.
Apparently, the Leviathan.
What took it
gone
out?
Down.
What the?
I'm going
what
to need
took
some
it out?
information on that one.
We need some info
yeah.
from our table boss. Is it? We heard his entire army, but I'd like some more specific information, which would be fun. So here, to let you know what's happening, if you guys want to look at the list for table 3, they're in the chat. Specifically, Liam is running a pretty interesting list. So we can talk about that right now.
Crimson Fist.
Yeah, it's Crimson Fist.
Yeah.
No.
So I believe what's happening here, I would make the assumption, I'm not entirely certain, but as a character, you can pop a stratagem to fire or fight upon death. Mm-hmm. Well, Leviathan's a character.
Yeah, so
I just lob it over.
So what he's got in there is those 6 Centurion Devastators with 6 Hurricane Bolters and 12 Heavy Bolters.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feeling that?
Well,
and then
the
he's got
reason why
those
this
3
is important
Whirlwinds.
is because you are a Imperial Fist Successor chapter, which means you get access to a lot of the bonuses that affect Imperial Fists. Meaning, you're very good at killing vehicles and buildings. Now, nobody takes buildings,
There it
so
is,
there's
it's
lots
gone.
of vehicles. A Leviathan
It's lifted,
has
it's the
died
first one.
live on stream. It took 40 minutes out of round 3.
It took actually
That is the timer,
plus the
rather
other
than
6
everybody
hours for
clapping
the
in
other
the chat.
2 rounds. Well,
That is
Leviathan down,
spectacular.
everyone. Congratulations.
Leviathan down, well done, everybody done. So,
Surely, like, because he would have popped the strat on it to reduce the damage. Sorry, you were saying about the output. You keep going.
No, it's fine. So I'm trying to work out what exactly is gone here. So, Duty Eternal was popped as well, which allows the Leviathan, I believe, to survive a little bit longer. But also, here's the thing that I'm looking for now. This doesn't necessarily mean the game is over, but what he's doing with massive amounts of damage to these vehicles are these Centurions back here specifically. You've got a Mortis down there as well, I believe, which is kind of scary, but you need to remove these Centurions. That's easier said than done. They have access to transhuman physiology, which means that you can't wound them on a 1, 2, or 3. So if I was Terrence right now, this Astraeus has to go straight for it. It has to come into the middle of the board, and it has to absolutely blast these Centurions off the board. Otherwise, that Astraeus is going to meet the same fate as the Leviathan.
Yeah, it was an impressive amount of output. Like, that is bonkers. Previously we saw 3 Riptides not do the same job.
They didn't really try, though, did they?
That's true. It's a very odd Tau
and they
game.
do 1 on 5s. They do 1 on 5s.
Yeah.
And they don't have, like, 100 shots like these do.
Yeah.
With mortal wounds.
Yeah, it's crazy. So there they are. There's the enemy that we're talking about in question.
Yeah.
Although in this particular instance, they're the heroes because they've taken out the Leviathan Dread. So that's huge.
Is there not another Leviathan Dread on the other side?
No, not at all.
Alright, so that looks like it's going to be pretty much the end of that Crimson Fist shooting phase.
Well, so I don't imagine there'll be many charges. So we'll be going straight into...
Well, they've also lost a load of intercessors around here as well.
Yeah, they
trying
have.
to save that Leviathan. It may have been better just to say, no, I'm keeping my command points, I'm keeping my intercessors, you can have it. It's fine. Off you go. Go and kill my Leviathan.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, Duty Eternal is 2 CP?
I think it's 1 CP.
No, that would be bonkers if it was 1 CP.
I'm not certain, though. We need to get a Marine player to find out first.
Yeah, well, thankfully it's neither of us. No offense to Marine players in the world, because I'd be in most of the 40k community at the top rung.
Yes. The top players all play Marines. Yeah. It's not all the Marines make people top players. That's not how it works.
More on that later in the stat show. All right, so we're going to go to table 1 now, where we saw the game of goodwill, as I'm going to name it now.
Yeah. You put your Invictus down. Yeah.
You put your Invictus down. So
mate.
going over to table 1, and we're going to get an update now from our table boss Nick, who's going to give us the info live.
Okay, so we're at table 1. Paul has just completed his first turn, and we're going into Wayne's turn now. Paul didn't kill too much in his first turn. He's damaged 1 Doom Crawler. He managed to Thunderfire 1 unit of Rangers at the far, at the sort of central of the table, and he charged the unit of Scouts in the building, but one of the one Scout survived, and it managed to hack back and kill one of the infiltrators. So Paul said the issue in his first turn that was most of his artillery was out of range, so obviously he's deployed in sort of a corner with his whirlwinds and thunderfire cannons, and Wayne was able to obviously see that, deploy second, and deploy most of his army out of range. So we're into Wayne's movement phase, and we're going to see how aggressive is he going to be. Is he going to push out from that corner? How aggressive is he going to be with his Invicta warsuits? Obviously, due to the fact that he forgot to deploy them initially, he probably deployed them quite defensively. So usually I think they'd be pushed up into your opponent's face 9 inches away, but it looks like he was probably scared of the Crimson Fist's damage to vehicles. So we'll just see how he gets on, and we'll go back to the commentary booth.
Thank you very much, Nick. I'm genuinely enjoying watching these two, heroes of the Imperium. I mean, I know that there's obviously it's a mixed Imperium forces in the bottom left-hand corner, but they've how heroic are they deployed completely in the corner? No. I mean, it's not like they're even wrapped in good armor. It's just ceramite. It's the latest edition of armor that you can find in the Imperium. There is
something important I want to touch on here, which is that we need Wayne, realistically, to kill something this turn, because otherwise it's going to be dropping secondary points for Old School, which has a component of it called First Strike, which means kill something in your first turn. So I'm looking for units where you could potentially get this, and one of the units that I'm really looking at is this unit of Marines down here. Now, I've already lost one due to the scout killing one in close combat, but what I'm worried about is that unit on the top or is it on the bottom? Because sometimes players like to stick models on the top, so it's easy to tell where they are.
No, they're on top.
They are on the top, so that means that this dread is not going to be able to charge them. What it could have meant, though, was what if you could use...
Well, to be fair, he wasn't even meant to be there.
True. But what I'm going to say here is, you've lost 4 scouts from this unit, right?
Yeah.
You're going to take a morale check.
Yeah.
Now, you have an ability...
I'd also be scouting for some new recruits.
You could be. But you can use an ability called Unleash No Fear to try and fail a morale check. And if you do that, what's going to end up happening is this scout is going to run away in the morale phase. So, now, this unit of Marines is not tied in close combat, and it doesn't get a consolidation move to move downstairs because it didn't die in the assault phase.
Yep.
So, you could have taken that scout out by using the morale check to try and remove your unit so you can then just try and absolutely blast it off and give yourself a really easy Old School.
Very easy Old School, yeah. But now, do you think they're going to get the Old School? So that's First Strike is what they're looking for at the moment. They've got a lot of long-range firepower. There's 3 Honoured Jadroon corners in here. There's 3 floaty boats. You've got Smashy Boys, I've got floaty boats.
So,
yeah?
They do have that, which means that they could try and get this squad of interceptors, or intercessors even, my mistake, on the top side over here. That's probably a good target to go for, but equally, you have your Scorpius Disintegrators, I believe they're called, and they have a gun that does not require line of sight to shoot, so you can try and pick on some of these kind of more squishy units to try and get yourself your Old School point as well. And it looks like, actually, from the gesturing and my completely vague interpretation of that, they might be shooting the Argentine crawlers up at this unit. Like
I agree. Like, we'll find out some more information from what's happened. We'll find out what's happening on that table in a moment. But just for now, we're gonna jump over to the table on table 2. I want to see what the Eldar decided to do.
So do I.
Yeah, how did they decide to move out? So you've seen a Wave Serpent. Is this correct? A Wave Serpent.
That's either a Falcon or a Wave Serpent. It might be a Falcon, that one, I believe.
Okay, we'll find out. So a Falcon or a Wave Serpent has moved into the centre there. I think it's a Falcon. There are loads in this list.
Yeah.
They
are very cheap indeed, so it doesn't matter. They're quite expendable. They're like around the 120 point mark, and they generally come with a a pulse laser, and a star cannon is how it tends to work. So you move it up, you shoot some stuff.
So in order to find out what is happening, we're going to go to our table boss, and he is going to give us all the hot goss right.
Awesome. That should have been Nikos, I think. But
you should have just heard Nikos giving us the table update. If you didn't, let us know, and then we'll work out what the issue is there. Could have been anything.
At least we know what's going on.
Oh, I try to find out what's going on as often as I can.
That's all right.
So, so what do you think about the information that we just heard from the table about the Eldar?
I'm really looking to see what the state of play looks like after the end of the shooting phase, because it's one of those things where if you leave too many of these things alive, they are going to start minting through you, because the Iron Hands have got a lot of shots and a lot of high strength shots that can come through as well. You still have all 3 of the Scorpiuses, you still have a Thunder Fire Cannon. The Thunder Fire Cannon isn't too much of a big deal, although I did just spy that quite a few of the Eldar Rangers did disembark, so that gives you a target for that Thunder Fire Cannon over there as well. So that could cause an issue. I really, really want to see these Eldar just go hell for leather and try and remove quite a lot of these intercessors in the centre of the board, just to really shut down Jay's ability to score King of the Hill, as well as all the rest of the punches he's going to be getting from just standing him down, asserting pressure, and forcing the Eldar into the sides of the board. So that could be a problem for him, realistically. I'm trying to work out, really, what's going to happen if Jay does get into those L's, because if he gets into those L's, that's going to be a real problem for the Eldar shift, specifically if he gets behind that left L. So the way that the L's are going to work is if you sit in this right-hand side L over here, there is a fire prison sat back here. So the fire prison can move up here, and then you can fire limp fire off it into the L, and you can still kill units there. Whereas if you go behind this L on the left, you can't really be hidden, be shot, but it does mean you're losing about 6 to 8 inches of movement up the centre of the board. So, realistically, what Jay's looking for here is he's looking for the angle of fire that can come here. So if you stand where this Leviathan is kind of stood right now, you're able to hide quite a lot better than you would otherwise by standing in the L's, just because of the presence of this fire prison. If this fire prison goes down, that could cause quite a bit of an issue for Liam, because he can't really get an angle of fire from the remaining fire prison without moving it all the way around the board to get within the side of that L.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm never going to root for Eldar, Tom, you know that, even if I have to root for Iron Hands.
It's okay, I'll root for Eldar for you.
Yeah, you root for
it's
Eldar.
Like the Necrons versus the Orcs last round.
Yeah, 100%. Only I feel way worse rooting for Iron Hands than I would do rooting for Necrons or...
That's your fault for not rooting for Eldar, then.
Yeah, so let's go back to let's go to table 3 very quickly. Just want to have a look at the state of play. The Atreus, obviously, in its first move, has decided not to particularly progress forward. You expected it to move into the centre.
Hold up.
But it has decided to unleash the guns.
It has unleashed some guns.
Because there were
other things.
3 whirlwinds here.
Where have the other 2 gone, Rob?
They are dead.
Are they dead?
Yeah.
Did they explode?
They did. I don't know if they did explode. We'll
'Cause
find
if
out
they
what
didn't,
our table
that's
was.
disappointing.
Yeah.
But never mind. Oh well. Never mind.
If the whirlwinds exploded.
Fine. Great. You've got 2 kills there already. That could swing the kill more point. So you could say, well, I'm going to sack off these Centurions. I'm going to go and kill some more things. And that way, if you've only killed 1 unit of Intercessors and 1 unit, one Leviathan, you've killed 2 units. Well, I just matched you. So you're not going to get your kill more point now. Maybe if you get something else, great. I get my kill more point. I'm ahead of you. Fantastic. The thing I'm concerned about now, though, is, as you can see, Liam's reaching over the table, is how much damage these Centurions are going to do. And I think that's going to be a tipping point, because they can definitely get within range there. The line of sight shouldn't be a problem. That thing is enormous.
It is enormous. Yeah, and we're going now into the Crimson Fist turn. As you said, this major threat here is still on the board.
Centurions.
Those Centurions, with all of those bolt rounds, potentially are going to do really good work, especially because they've got the sharpest bullets in the land.
Although it is possible, those things guzzle command points. You use transhuman physiology to keep them alive, you use bolt drill, you use all these stratagems to do lots of mortal wounds and lots of extra damage to these vehicles. Liam only has 3 command points left. I would have really been tempted just to lob some stuff in there and say, right, well, if you defend yourself, you spend 2 command points. You are not going to be able to fire your full combo of uber damage into me. Because now you just use all your CP, pretty much, on keeping you alive. That said, Liam's just down to 1 CP. I need to really work out exactly where these CP are going. Oh, it's back to 3 CP again. Okay, it's different camera. Never mind. I still need to work out where these CP have gone. Have they all gone into shooting at the Leviathan? Or did some of them go into trying to keep some of these whirlwinds alive? If they did, that's still an okay play, because you're able to sap some of those command points around.
I think taking out the whirlwinds is a good play. I think
it's all right.
I'm not 100% certain on the range of the.
So you've got Hurricane Bolters, 24-inch range. You've even got a 4-inch move, so you've got a 28-inch range on those. That's where most of the shots come through for your mortal wound generation. The heavy bolters, of course, 36-inch range. So you've got a 40-inch effective threat range on those, but we don't have as many shots. You effectively have 12 heavy bolters, which is going to be 36 shots. That's nothing to be sniffed at.
No, not at all. So I definitely could see some of them going in there and reaching through, but they're not going to get the weight of all their dice.
No.
So this denial zone that's happened here, because this is a horrific no man's land in the centre that no one wants to be a part of. Not forgetting that there's also a bunker of units here, which is also hiding a Thunderfire cannon as well.
Saucy.
Yeah, very saucy.
One of the things that I quite like here is Terrence's use of terrain, but we'll come back to that later because I think we've got an update from Table 1.
Yeah, so we're going to go over to Table 1 now. Those Crimson Fists, that's the state of the play. Let's go find out if they've managed to do well against the Imperial Fists. We're going over live now to Nick. So we're just finding out right now what's happening on the tabletop.
Yeah.
Live. Did you hear that, Tom? What did you think?
I heard that.
Yeah, tell me what you think of it.
Was he able to get the first strike? I think he was there. So what's ended up happening is I believe his interceptor's gone down. That's given the first strike point over for Old School to Paul. That was the point we were really looking for. We've also got a little bit more aggression being posted out. Oh, hello, my legs are being taken away from me.
So, Tom, you've been joined by Nikos in the commentary booth.
Nikos is now filling in for the commentary booth. So, Nikos, can you fill us in exactly what happened there? Because I don't believe you caught all of what you said.
So, in Wayne's first turn, he used his artillery pieces. What are they called? I can't remember. Scorpius.
These are called Scorpius Disintegrators.
So, he's used these artillery pieces to kill the intercessor squad that was hiding in this magic box. He has pushed his tactical warsuits forward here. He's hugging the train, trying to stay out of line of sight of these Centurions here and these Centurions here.
Very good.
The brave scout sergeant here that killed Infiltrator last turn continued fighting those, and I think it's still alive and it's killed another guy.
Wait a minute, we had 4 there a second ago. There was only 2.
There was, yeah, but I think the Invicta warsuit here has also been fighting, having a bit of a bash.
Was it able to get into combat there?
I believe they were just within 1 inch of the edge of the wall. So he was able to, they were in the bottom floor fighting this scout. So he was able to get in. So just off screen, we can't quite see it, but there is a smash captain in the bottom right hand corner. Just off screen, so Wayne deployed in there, hoping to get a charge on some scouts that you can't quite see in this building, but he failed to get that charge. So he failed to get that charge to get in and kill those scouts.
So we were about to start talking about on the other table how the way terrain was used quite well against the Centurions, because if the Centurions were to walk up, they'd end up blocking themselves, similar to how white goalkeepers close people down in football. So these Centurions, for example, as we can see, being measured out here by Paul and his Imperial Fist, if they were to move 4 inches up, we could go here, and that's still quite a fine angle onto that.
Yeah, they had to get a sneaky shot on there.
Onto the Invicta. And I don't know if that would be in 24-inch range either to get your Hurricane Bolters off onto it. So it's kind of touch and go to get that one within range there. I'm also interested to see where exactly these whirlwinds go, because a lot of these targets here aren't that easy to hit. Do you really want to be burning one whole whirlwind on a scout?
No, not at all. I mean, it feels a bit of a waste.
I feel like what you're going to end up doing with this target allocation, because a lot of 40k is about sequencing, is you're going to save these whirlwinds to last, or at least one of them, because that way, if you still haven't killed a unit by the time you get to your whirlwinds, you can go, well, okay, I'll just try and pick off this scout, and that way I've got at least my 3 points.
It's a kill, it's a kill for your ITC kill one, isn't it?
Exactly.
Just give Symbol and Mr. Bridges a shout out in the chat for helping us with some of our technical difficulties that we're experiencing in this last game. Thanks for the help as always, you guys.
So it looks like we're getting into the Imperial shooting phase with some very, very yellow dice. Those are very appropriate as well. I'm quite liking the look of those. I guess we can come back to that one later potentially. Oh no, I guess we'll stay with it. I don't think we're able to swatch the game for now, so we'll keep looking.
I think we're locked into this game for now.
We are locked into this game.
He's been pretty aggressive with these Centurions over here. He's pushing them forward, but obviously they're really slow. They're not the Raven Guard aggressive Centurions that we saw in the first game.
I guess we are looking at here 3 squads of 3 Centurions. Are they all shooting Centurions, Nikos, or have you got some?
I believe they are. So these ones are totally rocking some las cannons.
Ah, those are
the ones. They are the Devastator version.
Very spicy. And you've always one list that had some heavy bolters and one las cannon one. I think it was like a squad of 6 and then 2 squads of 3. So I'm guessing what's happened here is at the start of the game is combat squadded. That would make sense to me. So then you've got the 3 little units running around, being a nuisance, standing in all these little ruins, just sneaking around. It's very, very difficult to get them. And it looks like immediately we've had these Centurions take out that lifted. That we're talking about there. Range wasn't an issue. If you're a last cannon, you've got 48-inch range. It's all right. Not too bad.
So Crimson Fist with the last cannons are even more deadly against these Invictor Warsuits because they are vehicles.
Vehicles.
So they'll be D6 plus 1 damage.
Yeah.
Is that right? And they're each rocking 2 last cannons each. I'm
yeah.
sure there's a couple of buff characters around here with his Thunderfires.
Like that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's got one of those. No Space Marine player will leave home without
now, what I'm
Chapter Master nowadays.
Very excited to see the Smash Captains.
Scarlet Audio.
Where are they?
Sorry?
Where are the Smash Captains?
So there's a Smash Captain in the bottom right-hand corner.
Hello.
Just hiding in the corner.
Oh, that also
and I
means,
believe
though,
there is another one in here.
to the Whirlwinds. Does that mean
that's
true?
Yeah.
Quiet down.
although the Smash Captain, he's got a 3+ invulnerable save. So why
can you guys hear me?
Won't be too bothered if he's firing some Thunderfires at that.
Can you guys hear me?
Take it.
Yes, we can get that as well. That sounds pretty cool. So what we're going to have a look at here is, again, it just comes down to where these Whirlwinds choose to fire. Because there's a lot of different targets over here. And it looks like we have the audio back for the other thing. Doesn't matter, because Rob needs to go and take care of some other business for a second. I'm sure he'll be back soon. So I'll just stick on this game for now, although if we can ask Scrivo, if it's possible, to switch to another game, that would be fantastic. Just to have a look at.
Yeah, maybe if we can see how Table 2's going. We're just in the midst. Here we go. We're on table
so now
2.
I've got Table 2.
So this looks like we're into... I think we're still in the Eldar shooting phase, it looks like.
No, I think we're charged, mate. I think that Falcon there has made a long, long charge from the side of that ruin all the way through to the Leviathan. Yeah. And that's big again, because what ends up happening there is you can lock down the Leviathan so it can't shoot next turn. And I don't believe that Falcon is low enough that it's going to be smote off the board so the Leviathan can fire later on in the turn. I think that Leviathan is done for a turn, which buys Liam and his Eldar a little bit more time. Although you say that, that's still some very expensive Whirlwinds sat at the back of the board doing a lot of damage, isn't it?
Absolutely. So we've got a bit of an artillery off, haven't we? We've got the Night Spinners in the top, we've got the Whirlwinds here. Who do you think is going to win in that artillery war?
Well, no one's really shooting the artillery, though. This is the thing, because of the piece of terrain we have here and here. They are generally bits of craters. We can get rid of that. But those aren't the things causing the issues. It's the L's in the corner that are really going to be blocking things off. Got a couple of Scorpiuses left. Has one Scorpius gone down in the bottom right-hand corner as well? It'd be interesting to see if we can go and check that one out, because that looks like we've had another one go kaput before we had the assault phase. So it looks like, Rob, quite a few things have gone down, mate. This game in particular, on the table 2.
On table 2?
We have made the charge we were talking about, mate.
All right. I'm excited. Thanks, everyone, sticking with us as I sorted out the tech issues. Pretty fun.
Well done.
Yeah, it was Ghost Inside the Machine. Just like the Ghost that is powering the Eldar vehicles, because they use the souls of their dead.
I believe that's for the Wraith units.
No, you do. All of them. They're covered in Spirit Stones, right?
They don't power them. They just keep them alive.
Oh, I reckon
you use the dead to keep things alive. Ironically, they couldn't save themselves, but they can save others.
The people of Soylent Green. That's what we've learned. That's a film. Okay, so tell me about the charge.
All right. So the Falcon we were talking about earlier is Wave 7. I think it's a Falcon because you can tell the guns are a little bit longer. So indeed, yes. So this is mess. This Falcon is charged around the corner and Tokyo drifted into the side.
All right. Okay, I'm dealing with that. I'm dealing with that.
And I don't think it's low enough, although I'm sure Nicholas will get back to it.
Someone not got a name yet.
How low that Falcon is, so we can see if we can get smote off.
Someone as of yet not named this alley in the Nova Elves the Nova Alley. Yeah. Like,
the Valley of Death.
Yeah, the Valley of line of sight.
The Valley of this is where.
So so he's in there, and he's just looking to lock up that Leviathan in combat and hope not to get smited off, right?
And I already have an answer for where that Scorpius in the bottom right went, Rob.
Oh,
do you know why? Because I can see a marked for death point. It appears on the bottom right hand corner. Now, if I was Liam, I would be looking at those Scorpions and think, I want them dead, don't I? So I'm going to try and shoot off that Scorpius hiding behind the hill-looking thing. It looks like the fire prisms of the Falcons have been successful. That's one expensive Whirlwind that's gone missing, and that's a mark for death point for Liam. Looks like we're going to get into.
So yeah, we're going to go. We're going to go over to table 3 now.
Oh, brilliant!
We're going to see how. Oh, the biggest stress is still alive. Are we going to find out right now from our table boss on table 3 What is happening? Nick, over to you.
Stress.
Some heavy firepower from all the Centurions. It obviously got the buffs off a Tank Hunter on the Crimson Fist Centurions. They pumped all of their shots into the Astraeus. It has 11 wounds remaining at the minute, so it's half dead. Terence, obviously a lot of his points is sunk into the Leviathan and the Astraeus. There doesn't seem to be many infantry left on Terence's side, so I do feel that the game is slipping away from Terence at this point. Once the Astraeus goes down, I don't really feel he's got much of an answer for Liam's Crimson Fist. He's got a lot of board control, he's got a lot of infantry left on the table. He's got 1 Whirlwind left out of 3, but I think the job is done basically by the Centurions. Terence is coming back to the table, so we'll go back to the commentary booth and I'll head over to table 1 for an update.
Believe can happen.
So, we were talking earlier about Iron Hands last round.
So
Iron Hands
that's
have
unfortunate.
4 rules
Yeah.
for their chapter trait, because of course they do. Why wouldn't they? And one of those rules is you double the number of remaining wounds you have when consulting the damage table. Which means that this Astraeus, I don't know why I'm circling it, it's obvious what it is, if it has 11 wounds, counts as having 22, so it's still on full
so
bracket.
big.
Now,
it's so awesome looking. Come on, it's so awesome looking.
It is very awesome looking. I kind of want one, I'm not going to lie. So, when you look at this, it's very low. Still 11 wounds on an 8 plus toughness 8 model.
Yeah.
But you still got a lot of things that can deal with it. Now, I'm going to say what I said last turn. What if this Astraeus can remove those Centurions this turn?
So it's his turn now to do so.
And here's the thing.
No, it's not his turn.
Liam,
he's not.
I believe, has 1 command point.
Right.
Which is not enough for a transhuman physiology, which costs 2. So you'll be wounding those Centurions completely naturally. So, if you could... we need to double check these CP. I believe that he'll be down CP, because the number of wounds taken off Aston Astraeus implies that some CP have been used for things like Bolter Driller and other such stratagems.
Yeah.
If Terence can blow away...
But it's not Terence's turn yet.
It's okay. I believe he's going to live.
No, I don't think he's going to live.
He's going to live.
Is it because he's only taken 11 wounds from the...
He's got 11 wounds left. He's taken 17.
Okay.
Which is why...
I
didn't spend any command points in the last turn. Okay.
So I don't think he's going to... I don't think he's going to do it. Even if he does it, what's he even got left?
Hey.
Look at all this he's got to deal with. There's like 443 wounds with a 3-up armor save.
It doesn't matter if only 1 unit
This is
hits.
Belisarius Call, just like steam printing.
Marines out.
Yeah, Marines out. He's just like cha-ching, cha-ching. Yeah.
But I mean, it is cha-ching whenever you print a Marine out, let's be honest at the minute. That's a totally accurate
So Wizard War Games has said, it's my first stream watching. I'm learning a load of stuff as I'm a tournament and competitive play novice. Love your commentary.
That's very kind of you, Ben.
We appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's why we do it, hoping to showcase the very best of competitive talent, and also to show can we also just talk about the fact that Table 1, the game that we're not currently looking at, they're all playing for the win, but they are a group of friends at the same time. You know, this small kind of bespoke tournament. I'd encourage people to come next year.
40 players.
It's still 40 players, decent, but like, you know, they were like, I forgot my Invictus suits. Like, no problem. We've had a couple of beers. Yeah, it's a Saturday afternoon.
Yep.
Put them on a tabletop. So you've got that. You've got things ranging from that, and you've got some true top level behaviour sometimes.
Speaking of the devil on Table 1,
yeah,
Nikos is going to give us a full update on what's been going on.
Okay, so
table.
Nikos in the thickos. Let's go over to you.
Okay, I'm in the thick of it on Table 1. We're partway through Paul's second turn. And he has unleashed the Centurions this turn. So the Smash Captain that appeared last turn, was in the bottom right corner for Wayne, was deleted by the Intercessors and the heavy Bolter Centurions on the right. They just had way too many shots for his invulnerable save to handle. So meanwhile, on the right-hand side for Paul, his Centurions had a really good turn. They killed the Dune Crawler in the bottom corner, and then the Admech Transport, where the Admech have just disembarked from that into the cover. And then we're just concluding Paul's turn before going into Wayne's turn, so we'll hand back to the commentary team in the booth.
what is going on. Things have died. Things have died. What do you think of that? What do you think of those plays? Like, and also, what do you think both strategies are going to be? Right, because both of them clearly are not going for kill more, or are they? Are they just being cagey like the last match we saw? What do you think, Tom?
I mean, I think there's going to be a Butcher's Bill applied to that event as well, because obviously you've killed 2 units there, you've killed one of the characters, and you've killed a vehicle. Unless you want to go for Big Game Hunter for that vehicle as well, but I thought we already had one of those, so it's like, okay. Because you've killed an Invicta Warsuit already, you've killed another Scorpius, I believe, as well, and then you killed the single Smash Captain.
Yeah.
So you could just say, well, I'm going to take 1 point for Big Game Hunter because I've killed a vehicle, and then I'm going to take 1 point for Big Butcher's Bill because I've killed this Smash Captain and this Scorpius over here. Now, the reason why Butcher's Bill is very important here is because you can only score it in 4 of your 6 turns. So you need to make sure that you can plan out which of those 4 turns you're going to be killing 2 units in. You can also plan out for Big Game Hunter because you're like, oh, well, these are the units that can score it off. There's only 4 units. I have to score Big Game Hunter on those units. But that's not the case here. You have Invicta Warsuit, and a bunch of vehicles. There's plenty of sources to score Big Game Hunter on. You don't need to just take it on everything when there's a free Butcher's Bill available to score off as one of your turns.
Yeah, like I hear what you're saying, Tom. And at the end of the day, I just want to know what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know what one Invictus Warsuit
in the Valley of Death
is going to. Yeah, in the valleys. Yeah, I mean, in Wales, it's perfect. Bloody valleys. You don't want to be near these, eh?
Please stop saying that. Please stop it. We warned you about this yesterday.
That's true. That's very much true. In our pre-production briefing, I was actually admonished and banned from Welsh accents, which I find rude. But okay. Yeah, will he survive? Is my question. There he is. There he is. Look at him. He's got his hands raised. And oddly...
That's a very clean red.
It's a very clean red. It looks really nice, actually. These are models that have grown on me over time. But as you can see, already wounded. I feel like he's not long for this world going up against... and had they deployed as they should have done in that infiltrating move at the start of the game, it would have been far more impactful. It would have changed a whole bunch of stuff as well.
We're just waiting for the scores to be updated on that table, and then I guess when we get those scores updated on table 1, we'll know a little bit more about what Wayne should really be doing and how hard he needs to push. If he needs to push loads, then we'll probably see some more aggressive moves come out of him. But if it's one of those close things, potentially you don't need to push as hard.
No one needs to push. Not that hard. Okay, so let's go see what's happening on table 2. I'm just going to go find out. There we go. We've seen some of that combat, some of those charges engaged. It's looking pretty sweet. We're ready for an In the Thickos update right now, and we're going to find out right now from Nick what's been going on.
So what has been happening on table 2? So we're into Jay's turn. I believe this is Jay's turn 2. So obviously the Falcon went into the middle last turn at the end of Liam's turn to shut down that Leviathan from shooting this turn. So the Leviathan has had to pull back. The Smash Captain has moved forward to go smash that Leviathan as revenge for stopping his Leviathan shooting. The Catechism of Fire litany is still on the Scorpius, which gives it +1 to wound against the closest visible unit. It shot all of its missiles at the Falcon in the middle of the board. We've had some Eliminators shooting at the left, having a bit of a sniper battle with the Rangers on the right-hand side for Liam. And we're just sort of getting towards the end of Jay's shooting phase. Not a lot of damage has happened this turn. I think the Leviathan is a big damage dealer for Jay, and it's obviously been shut down this turn. I think Jay only has the Whirlwind left, and he's just making a decision where to shoot that. So we'll go back to the commentary booth.
Welcome back.
I'm loving that, Rob. I'm loving that turn.
Yeah, you loving that turn?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because all the Eldar army's still alive, mate.
I tell you what, like these space elves, really, they're kind of the creatures of the past. Some would say that they are the Eldar races.
Okay. Cool.
I thought it was funny.
Right. I didn't get it, but that's okay. So the Leviathan obviously moving out, as Nico was saying.
Let's go. I want to go see I just want to go see what's happening in the Valley of Death. I want a close up of the Valley of Death. Yeah, no. There we go. We got a live.
We've got a moving
close up of the Valley of Death. Look at it's hidden behind there. There we go. We got a whole bunch of...
Look at him. He's like he's flying through it. Like
there we go. What is happening in the valleys? There's crotch shot. Everyone likes that. Welcome to the tSports. Listen, if you've ever played with Wargamers for more than 5 minutes...
I have not played with Wargamers.
There's actually a really nice-looking army, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Really sweet.
Well, it's Eldar. It goes.
There we go. But look at those scouts. They're in there. Yeah, they're in combat. They've locked them up.
They are infiltrators. And the main thing there is you have got access to this fire prison. That fire prison can link fire to remove another Scorpius, which is going to make Tom very happy. Now, I don't actually think that we're going to be able to put the Falcon into the Leviathan again. Because if you look at it now, it's surrounded by things, Rob. Although, you say that, I've just had to see something, mate. Look at this here. Specifically look at how I've drawn that, which is weird for something that was so roughly drawn. Now look at the shape of this Falcon's front, mate. What I'm saying is, if I were to charge... Hold up.
Hold up.
This unit
Hold
here,
up. We've invented a move. Are you saying you should pincer it like a pair of scissors?
I can get a prong within 1 inch range of that Leviathan.
Oh my God, you are an animal. I have. Because it's not even the base. I need a zoomy. Get me the zoomy cam. No, I just need it to just pull me down a little bit south. Just go south a little bit. All right. That's what I need. Just give me that 89 degrees. No, that's out. That'll do. That's fine.
That's fine. So look at this. Can you draw a line?
Yeah. Well, no. Stay there. No, go back out.
No, back out. That was perfect before.
That's the exact opposite button.
What you just did. Do it again.
We're doing so well. Don't worry. Oh, but this is going fine. So imagine zooming out.
Okay, never mind. Okay, so if Scrivo watches the stream, here's what we're trying to look at, Scrivo.
If you guys are watching back.
See this Falcon? This is the charge I want it to make.
Okay.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Nikos is on table 3.
It does.
We'll leave that well alone.
It does. Look, listen. It's
okay. They've moved anyway.
We're moving into hour 8 of stream today, anyway. And it's getting a bit tense in the booth. But we are going to go over to a man who never gets tense. He's cooler than cool. Some would say he's ice cool. That's Nick, the Necron Warrior himself.
The Centurions may well go down here on table 3. We are just in the middle of the Astraeus shooting. Farios has given it the Ballistic Skill 2 upgrade and it's split fire. So it's firing its main cannons on the Centurions and its las cannons onto the Contemptor, which has gone down. And we're Liam is just rolling out his saves for his Centurions. We'll see how many die. Terence used an Iron Hand stratagem. Mercy is weakness onto the Centurions, which meant that every wound roll of a 6 gave him an extra wound. So it's split into 2. So we're just rolling out the saves for the Centurions to see how many die. So I can give you guys an update, but if we go back to the commentary booth.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to see, and it's happened.
You did want to see it. You were super excited. You were cheering it on, especially those rolls for 6s. Yeah. How many of these? Oh, look, here we go. Here's the save rolls.
That's a big pile of
That's a bunch of save rolls. What damage does the Atraeus do? Like, how much is it?
I don't know. I don't run Astraeus very often. So. You will still.
Oh no! Hold on. He will. He's using the banner. So he's using that standard to shoot back for things that are dying. We'll find out how many Centurions are going to die.
We'll find how many shoot back.
Goonhammer TV. In the house? I just want to say I love the Goonhammer articles. I just want to let you know.
Yeah, they do good stuff.
They do great stuff.
Now, here's the thing. When you're going to be firing back with these guys, they're not going to have any of the stratagems that you previously cast on them. So it'll basically be firing back with basic hurricane bolters and basic heavy bolters, which is nowhere near as effective as it would otherwise be if you spend over CP on it.
I agree absolutely, but at the same time,
it's more shots.
And that Atraeus is down to only 11 wounds.
Yeah.
Even if it can blink off, even if it's 1, it makes it much more it's a bit more manageable.
That 1 wound can make all the difference.
All the difference. So again, you can see why that's included in these. Now these Marines are so prevalent, right?
Some more dice being rolled. 3 Centurions are already down.
Yeah, but is that it?
Look at more dice, mate.
But look at the size of this thing. Yeah. I want all the Centurions
to go down. Gun on the top of it.
Oh my! To be
like
fair,
Michelangelo's David.
Fair, it quite clearly was meant to be a transport that they weren't allowed to make a transport, so they had to make up some random rules for it. But it's pretty cool. I think the main reason we see it included in armies is what we saw in the last game against the Tower, right?
Yeah.
Is because it ignores modifiers against flying units.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, which is really good, especially if stuff's looking for like.
All the Centurions down.
Well, four of the Centurions are down.
Only three Centurions
just three
died.
man.
I don't think that's enough, Rob. I mean, the CP has run out. The CP has run out, but you've still got some left. That's still.
So the CP for the Crimson Fist.
The CP for the Crimson Fist has completely run out here, but you've still got that 6 heavy bolters in there. You've still got 1 whirlwind at the back as well. You've still got this massive brick of Marines that's just sat there. I don't know if it's quite enough. It's a good start. You obviously can't do your stratagems.
Yeah.
You don't have.
I was actually amazed at watching that Leviathan Dreadnought die in a single round before.
Oh, yeah.
That blew my mind.
I think the issue may have just been imagine if this game was played again, but you just let the Leviathan die and you leave all.
I'd just like you to know that I never ever in my entire life want to see an Iron Hands army play ever again. Already.
Unlucky Rob, because we're back tomorrow. So if you'd had these intercessors in this L, but you didn't have, and you just sack off a Leviathan, well, at this point you can just go, alley-oop, I'm going to jump out, I'm going to shoot these.
Do you know what is actually? I'd like to revise my statement. What's actually really fun and super interesting from a tactical standpoint is watching all of these Iron Hand armies play. Is the way that the other armies are trying to deal with them. They're trying to mitigate them. They've got tactics. Watching the different players play with them. Like if we flip over to table 2,
there's a lot of dead planes.
Yeah, obviously Terrence is playing really differently because he's got that big super heavy. Mm-hmm. And in this situation, the Leviathan, who is just at the centre. Well, it's centre here. Oh, it's still available. It's still available. We could do it. But this Leviathan here, he's just there, just like, you can't hit me. I'm going to live.
So let's put it this way. I'd be doing that.
I know you'd be doing that. I think everyone in the world knows you'd be doing that.
Oh, I love cheese.
What I really enjoy is how stressed you'll get when they won't do that. Yeah.
I'll just get motivated and get really into it, mate. I get really into it.
Oh, look, little Lascan Dread right at the front. He's going to be fine.
So the Lascan Dread will be fine.
Yeah.
I don't think this guy will be, though.
No, so hold on. We're looking now. We're looking. So we're in turn 2 for the Asuryani. So let's go top down.
Top down.
So we're into the movement phase.
No!
He is not gone. But he has gone to do exactly the same thing here.
But that's not doing the damage, Rob. That's not doing the damage.
He's doing some damage. That's not true.
He's doing some, but not as much as the Leviathan.
I agree with you 100%. I'm just looking for the silver lining in this situation. Yeah, which this mortar.
It is more that one mortar compared to the 2 storm cannon arrays
to those two absolute units just been shooting everything to pieces. Here we go. We're going to see some Eldar dispersal now. So he's looking to take out these back lines. I think. Would you not argue that the reason that he's doing this, looking to take these whirlwinds out? Sorry, specifically, I'll use the actual name.
Scorpius, not the Hyperion, the Relic Scorpius whirlwind.
Are they Relic Scorpius at whirlwinds?
I don't know. It's called Scorpius.
Okay, all right.
That's what it's called. It's Forge World. I don't pay attention. It's fine.
So my point is, though, oh, that is horrible necroquake that we're suffering.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is still alive. This fire prison.
Well, that's what I was about to point out.
Yeah,
I was about to point out one of the things that I think he's doing is he's with this engagement here and looking at aiming it here. He's actually going to use the Nova Elves to block the Leviathan into itself.
So here's my question here: isn't this whirlwind just a normal whirlwind on the bottom left? That's just a normal whirlwind, right?
Yeah.
This is a Scorpius whirlwind. So what if you just
Relic
shot
Hyperion Scorpius whirlwind Devastator
like
assault tank?
Big shooty. That's weird boys know it. What if you
long shooty,
big shooty? Yeah. Non-line of sight shooty. What if you just shot this off and then you just tagged this? How much is going to hit back at you? 1 Mortis Dread, 1 regular whirlwind, and some intercessors. You're not going to kill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Eldar vehicles.
You aren't.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, I agree. So going over to table 1 now, in again some Marine on Admech / Smashy Boys. So table 1,
my favourite.
Here we go. We are, as you can see, these Imperial Fists still sat in that corner, hiding away. But we're going to find out if there's anything else that's actually happened on this table from our man in the field, Mr. Nick.
Okay, so it might not look like a lot happened in Wayne's turn, and that's because he had a bit of a whiff of a turn. He had quite a lot of unlucky dice, so he tried to make some moves, but it just wouldn't pull off. So a lot of his shooting seemed to whiff, His Invicta Warsuit in the centre, sort of rampaged up to the centre. It's kind of in a good position in the middle. The 2 L's are blocking line of sight from 2 Centurion squads, but there is one in the middle which will be able to shoot it this turn. It charged into some intercessors in the building, but only killed 1. So Wayne seems to be feeling the weight of the Space Marine Codex pressing down upon him at the minute. He's got 1 Smash Captain still in reserve. That is probably one of his only hopes for this game to come down and do some damage. Because his Scorpius disintegrators seem to be shooting the world but don't seem to be doing much damage. So the Imperial Fists seem to be dug in and are launching some artillery salvos towards the Admech. And the Admech seem to be wilting away, but we'll see if the Smash Captain can come in and save his bacon. We'll go back to the commentary guys.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Smash Captains really only save bacon or create bacon.
I feel more appropriately...
they're like a hog of war.
They are. Wayne is feeling the weight of all of the books that have been released for Space Marines pressing down upon him.
Yeah.
That's a lot of books.
Yeah, it's a lot of books.
Yeah,
pinning him down. But the Scorpiuses do some decent work. Admech really have seen an uptick since the release of the Scorpiuses. Yeah, people that you often see 3 in competitive lists.
And the silly plane.
Yeah, well, how dare you? It's what about the horsey men?
The silly horses.
Silly horses. Yeah, but they're not out yet. And in competitive ITC 40k, you have actually seen a lot of Admech lists with a lot of Scorpiuses inside of them. Yeah. So they're fairly popular. But in this situation, they just aren't. They aren't engaging in combat. They aren't doing. And by combat, I mean the shooting warfare of 40k. But they're not doing anything.
I just want to quickly raise the point we were talking about earlier, because I believe that was turn 2, wasn't it? So what we were talking about earlier was Big Game Hunter versus Butcher's Bill. Well, now Paul has completely maxed out his Big Game Hunter, so he can completely focus upon achieving his Butcher's Bill every turn. Now, he's already got pressure. By that I mean, if you were to engage in an attrition war between these 2 armies, the Imperial Fist should take it most of the time, right? So what you can say is, well, I'm not going to necessarily go off one just wiping out your army because I'm scared of it. You can say, I'm just going to kill 2 units every single turn so I can max out my Butcher's Bill. Because now the onus is on Wayne. Wayne absolutely needs to push into this Imperial Fist army to cause any issues here. So
do you not think? Do you not think like when we sort of if we go back to Topper 1 when they were both kind of like just sitting off from each other? Do you not think it would have been smart, like on Wayne's part, to have just grabbed everything and just pushed it forward, or do you think that would have opened him up to too much damage?
Possibly, because that way you're not. The way that this is set up is he's handshaking a shooting war, and what that means is that now you have the onus on Paul to stick out his less useful things like his intercessors and his infiltrators and these kinds of units, and say, well, if your Smash Captain's coming to me, this is what they're hitting now. All my juicy stuff is at the back.
Yeah.
You're not going to hit any of those. Whereas if you take
just flooded it. And just flooded it.
Now, a Scorpius is not very good in close combat.
No.
It's not very good. Neither
but it's also not shooting at the minute.
But what they are doing is standing in the way. So, if you're stood, like let's say here, and let's say here, and let's say here, and the scout just for the Imperial Fist just go, well, I'm just going to go here, then at least you're in close range and you're getting everything at your disposal to hit back at them with. I think the issue then comes back to, I feel like Wayne was a little bit rattled by not deploying his Invictus, because that was one of the units that would be absolutely perfect for just sitting up front and really pushing scouts off so you have some room to work with, and pushing Imperial Fist to here so your Smash Captains can suddenly, you're pinning the Imperial Fist in, they can't come and get at these objectives that are further up down the board, you can't really get out and really exert pressure on the board either for things like old school and late game line breakers. So what's ending up happening now is, because he's had the room to fan out, it's easy for him to access those points, whereas beforehand it would have been potentially quite tricky to really push him out.
Yeah, no, I agree. There we are. And look, and the other thing that Imperial Fists don't have really is that mobility that you're seeing displayed there on the screen from the Admech. The Admech had a lot of opportunity to throw a lot of stuff forward. Now, I'm not saying that that's a smart play, but if you look in this, as you said, gentleman's agreement in a shooting war, Paul's up 12-7. He's in a really strong place, and I think Wayne is losing.
And he's too far back.
Yeah, he's too far back. He's losing pieces, and he doesn't really engage in the game. So we are jumping over very quickly to table 3. Table 3, and what are we hearing from the table boss? We get an update right now live.
Okay, I'm live pitch side from table 3. The Astraeus is currently on 2 wounds left. We've just had the Centurions with the heavy bolters fire at the Astraeus. So they were helped out by the Apothecary hiding in that ruin. It brought one back to life to help shoot. It did I think it did 7 wounds to it, leaving it on 2 wounds left. We're currently firing the bolters at it to see if they can do that chip damage. If that fails, there is 1 Whirlwind and 1 Intercessor squad in the middle of the table that could finish it off. If it doesn't, then Terence is going to get 1 more round of shooting out of it and also have another chance to repair it. So we'll see if Liam can finish off this Astraeus. Back to you guys in the commentary booth.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, like, that's close. Like, we're watching live now whether or not this giant battle tank's going to go down. What do you think, Tom?
Well, a wise man once said, Rob, if you have more than 1 HP, you are ready to go. And this thing has 2 HP remaining.
I agree with that wise man. I don't know who he is, but like I'm on his side.
So, that still has 2 wounds. It counts as 4 for purposes of the damage table. You still bottom bracket, but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It's going to come, it's going to get healed, it's going to run in, and it's going to charge everybody, and it's going to Tokyo Drift slide.
A lot of people in the chat. Yeah, a lot of people in the chat. Neon Mentor bigging up Liam, one of his friends. People watching at home. Neil Kerr talking about the game that we just had. Said problem the Whirlwinds. So agreeing with both of us. Outrange the Scorpiuses. So not pushing and taking the center has really messed up the Admech player. We agree. 14 saves to make. 14 saves to make. Is he going to go down? There's 3 ones. That looks like.
Okay, he's got feel no pains.
He's got his.
I heard a clap.
It has gone.
And
it's exploded. Oh,
this is spicy. How many?
Yeah, let's get some zoomies.
Right, that's what we like to see. No, don't.
Commentary booth. Like,
that's what we like to see.
So,
go on.
So not only did it explode, he rolled he CP. He's like, I'll CP re-roll it.
No,
what a mistake that is every time that happens.
Of course, yeah.
Because it was a 6 again.
Always is.
And now that's it. He's just exploded all over. Hilarious.
How many
That's hilarious. He looks over the moon right now. Everyone's running up to him. Let's go back to the game. That was
I feel
great.
like that's worthy of spot prize.
What?
I feel like that's worthy of the spot prize.
It's absolutely. Who doesn't love the boomies?
Boomies.
Yeah, the boomies, the zoomies and boomies.
That's what we're going to call table 3 now, zoomies and boomies. Because that's what we had on there.
Yeah, there we go.
It's been great.
So it's going to explode. It's going to do mortal wounds all around it. A lot of love for Liam in the chat there. You need a boomies emote. Yes, we'll get.
Oh yes, 9-inch range explosion and D6 mortal wounds for every unit in there.
Inches.
Now I think so. Here's a problem. It's not like there are intercessors in here anymore because they're all dead.
Yep.
These are all characters.
But look, they're all just surrounded by characters. This is the disaster zone.
Oh no!
Oh no!
At least got to feel no pains.
He has, but his D6 mortal wounds a go. We might lose whole characters. 4 on the Dreadnought.
All right, that's a start. Let's keep going because I feel like this is pretty spectacular. I'm quite enjoying this, to be honest.
This is fantastic. This is why we play Warhammer, right?
What, to watch bigger £300 models explode?
Yes, 100%.
I mean,
yeah.
I love that.
Just watch.
Like
I'd like to also, if we get a camera on him, the absolutely dominant way that Liam is leaning over the table, just staring at each one of them has exploded. Yeah, he just like powered over. Yeah,
he did the Qui-Gon Jinn force thing to make it explode
twice.
And he didn't notice. These are not the dice you're looking for.
Yeah, he's powered in there. So let's get an update on what characters are around the Astraeus there, because that would be good. Ferios is around him, Chaplain, and a Tet Marine. They all have taken mortal wounds.
Lovely.
But
none
of them have died.
I don't think they did, no.
And the Librarian is also in there as well.
It looks like the models are all still there, though. So, that's some good news for...
I mean, the CP reroll to a 6 is just a thing of legends.
It's okay, I still believe in Terrence.
Yeah.
If you look at this, Terrence is up in points somehow.
No, don't worry. It'll get sorted.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. He's gonna take it. I believe.
Yeah, he is gonna... Wow, that's big. Well, like, look, realistically...
The explosion.
Yeah, the explosion. Like, Terrence is unfortunately... Look at that monstrous
size of that base.
It's ridiculous. So, yeah, Terrence has, like, lost. On turn 1, he lost the Relic Leviathan, and now he's lost his Traitors. He's lost
a bunch of intercessors.
He's lost the heart of his army. So this game is all
I
but.
think we can probably call that game.
Yeah, we can call that game. Obviously, we'll come back to it because we've got the other games going on. But incredibly exciting. Let's go back to the Eldar game with all of the. We've lost a lot of boats.
So a second ago, I believe I saw the Falcon charge the Thunderfire cannon.
We did, which is what we discussed.
I think so. The Scorpius that was down here is gone.
Which is this would have been from the Twin Link tier.
The basic Whirlwind that we were talking about earlier is down in the bottom left-hand corner. It's
okay,
also gone.
hold on.
We're going to get an in-depth look.
Yeah, we're going to get an in-depth load of information from our infield reporter right now. Going over to Nick.
Okay, so I've just had a quick chat with Liam. We just finished the bottom of turn 2, which was Liam's go. In his turn, he was able to finish off in combat with a Fire Prism, an Infiltrator at the bottom central area of the board. And on the far left in the corner where the Fire Prism is, they were killed with Overwatch in the previous turn, the Infiltrators there. So he was able to kill the Scorpius in the middle, and also the other Whirlwind in the ruin on the right-hand side with the Falcon. And it looks like he's tagged the... I don't think he's tagged the Tech Marine on that objective, but he's just sitting on that objective to deny the Tech Marine scoring that objective. A unit of Intercessors in the middle of Death Alley was also killed. And we're just heading into Jay's turn 3. He's advancing up with some Intercessors in the middle. But the Leviathan is free to shoot this turn, so we'll see what he's able to kill. Because it looks like that's the big damage dealer he's got left. He's lost his Scorpius, he's lost his Whirlwind. So it looks like it's down to the Leviathan and the Chaplain Dread. So back to the commentary team.
Right.
I mean, to be honest, if I only had one model left on the board, I'd want it to be a Relic Leviathan in an Iron Hands army.
I'd want it to be an Astraeus.
You can't have one of those.
He never
They're dead.
He never specified any criteria.
So he's lost a lot. I really like this this fire and evade, very Eldar-ish style.
I feel
you
like
hug the edge of the board, don't get involved. And also, can I? Oh, go on. So the love heart formation.
He knew he was on stream, so
you Eldar waifu. Yeah, how dare you? Yeah. Well, if someone could just do pictures of Tom as a waifu, that'd be great.
A body pillow of me.
Yeah, 100%. Right, but let's be serious a minute, and let's also talk about this because I think this is an ongoing story from the weekend and every game that we've seen. This L shape that we've seen in the middle, deployment done by Jay. He's deployed here and then he's moved into the center, right?
I think we should call it the hieroglyph.
Yeah, the hieroglyph. The center. I've actually I had to be very careful about how I've drawn some of them because if you draw wrong, it makes a very bad shape, right? It does.
I've not tried. I don't know.
I don't know
it's your experience.
But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is because of the terrain, which we've seen replicated time and again, and we've seen people play in time and again.
Face now.
Yeah, it does. But I'd just like to point out that Liam has played an incredibly good counter game where what he's done is he's known that that's what they're going to do, and instead he's gone for incredibly mobile options to move around the side here and here. Now, he doesn't have to. He could have also concentrated fire in anything that wanted to come through the ruin or brought everything over from one side and then dealt into something if it castled on either side. But my point is that I think not only is it the army's good, but the army is good against the terrain that's existing.
Yeah. Ironically, this has kind of turned the Valley of Death into a safety zone. I was going to have to take a...
or a trap.
Well, here's the thing. So the way you can stop a lot of these Falcons and what have you from charging your Leviathan is by screening, right?
Yeah.
Well, what if you just use the two walls in the Valley of Death as screening? So you stick your Leviathan here. There's a big blob. You then stick a unit here and a unit here. Well, now, where are you going to place a Falcon that can touch you? You can't. So now you've basically got line of sight here and line of sight here, line of sight here and line of sight here, because that's where you're safe because you don't have enough bodies.
But only those, and that's my whole point. Yeah, you've only got that.
Yeah. So what if you were to stand all of your stuff around the sides here? So let's say, we were already talking about this and how you can use the sides of the board as basically a safety buffer. So if you take those lines of sight, you have now got a rather large section of the board that you physically can't shoot at, even if you were to be optimistic and say, well, these are the lines of sight. Okay, fine. Now, what about this objective, for example, down in the bottom left? Let's take this objective down here. What if you were to stand your Wave Serpent or your Falcon or whatever you've got here, around this top side of the L? Well, you can't see it from the centre there, can you? So now in order to get to those sections of the board, you have to expose your units to Eldar fire or Eldar tagging from all directions, because you've still got so many durable units that are wandering around the board, and you're rapidly running out of options to remove them.
Yes. Yeah, I hit exactly what you're saying. And at the end of the day, I think it's actually a really good piece of army design that I'm genuinely enjoying quite a lot. So, yeah, I'm into it. That's all I've got to say. Right, let's move over. Let's move back. Now, obviously, we know Table 1's pretty much over with, but it'd be nice to just have a look at Table 1.
Table 1 or 3. Sorry.
Oh, no, but I was going to say Table 1, but Table 3's fine. Yeah? Yeah.
The Trace is dead, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
well, the Trace is dead. I know that game's effectively over, but I want to see how much else
cool.
it panned out,
Yeah.
right? But here on Table 3, I think we have an update come from our table boss, and we're going to get that now.
Table 1 or Table 3?
Table 1. We're about to get an update from Table 1 now.
Okay, so pitch side at Table 1. We've just finished Paul's turn 3. He's had another good turn. He was able to finish off another AdMech transport in this area of the board. And he was able to finish off the Invicta Warsuit in the centre of the table with his Las Cannon Centurions. And then there's one lone Centurion on the right-hand side. He was able to kill 8 out of 10 AdMech warriors on the right-hand side in that cover. And then we're into Wayne's turn. He's not got much left. He's got 2 of the Scorpius Disintegrators and 2 of the Dune Crawlers left. He's just had a shot with his neutron laser from his Dune Crawler on the far left at the Centurion. He got 2 wounds through, both AP4. Paul proceeded to roll 2 6s to save that Centurion. That just goes to highlight the type of game Wayne has had. He's had a pretty unlucky game so far, but it looks like his chances of winning this game are ebbing away. So we'll go back to the commentators.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you very much also, Nick. We've gone back to Table 2. Let's go back to Table 3.
Table 1.
Table 1, sorry. But Table 1. Like we talked about previously, one of those major problems is luck also follows people, it also follows plans, right? That's got to be something that gets thought about. Yeah, that 14-6 gap is huge. Yeah, and he's just sat here trying to play someone else's game.
Well, he's also I think he's realised now that he needs to push out. The problem is when he tried to push out, he just got shot because it's too late. Yeah. He's run out of stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, luck is an impact, but also I feel like this is one of those games.
Well, no, luck follows a plan.
Oh yeah. Well, what I'm saying is that I feel like it's one of those games where he'll look back at it and think, maybe if I tried and played it this way instead, it would be a bit better. But it is game 3 of the first day. I mean, it's one of the more tiring games because you just played 2 games already.
Always.
So,
and also, it's against and also there's also the psychological effect as well. Wayne didn't fancy his chances going into this. He was like, I'm just going to get, depending on the first roll, I'm going to get basically tabled in a turn if it goes wrong. Yeah, which just isn't the case. Because I agree, there's an offensive amount of output here, but you wouldn't be able to take out everything.
Yeah. It's true. You
now, is that a great strategy? I'm not 100%, but it's a strategy nonetheless.
But this one didn't work, so you might as well try something else.
Yeah, this one didn't work, so you might as well try and reskin the cat and see which way you can go about it. There's lots to say about this game, but I think ultimately it comes down to the offensive power and output of those. Going into this, I'm very excited about having covered these 3 games now within an hour and 20 minutes left. 9 games, but these 3 for the round, but 9 games today. I'm very much looking forward to tomorrow. It's definitely going to be marine on marine action. Tom, what do you think? Of the 3 tables as well, one of them doesn't have the classic Elven nose as you've described them. What would you say? What's your preference for looking at those games? I feel like it's definitely. These, I don't know, these just seem so static to me, these pieces of terrain. Everyone in the Twitch chat, I was wondering what your thoughts are. You got any thoughts on it?
I mean, I just like functional terrain. I'm not really too fussed about aesthetic or what happens.
No, I think I'm not saying that they don't have a function.
I think they present interesting problems to the players, specifically ones that we've seen solved by Liam in the game with the Eldar on Table 2. We don't get to see that in a minute, but we'll get to see it later, where he's using his fire prisms just to get around the terrain issues, right? So, for example, if you were to deploy on the bottom side, you could stick a fire prism here, and it's basically the same. You push this one up, you can see inside this one, and you can also push this one here, and now you can see inside this one, and you can also see inside Valley of Death down here, and you've got line of sight past here, which is why fire prisms are such an important unit, because you can really draw line of sight to a lot of these units. I feel like it would have been very, very good, specifically in Game 2, if Jay had been able to get access to one of those fire prisms. Because suddenly if you do that, firstly you shut off lane fire. And what that means is you can't get access to real to hit and to wound with the fire prisms. But it also means you can't be bouncing your targeting and your line of sight from one fire prism to another and just saying, here you go, you fire for me.
Well, talking about those fire prisms, I think we have an update coming from Table 2. So we're going to jump over to Table 2 now. We're looking at that Eldar versus Iron Hands game, and we're going to find out from our table boss right now what's going on.
Okay, so we're at the bottom of turn 3. We're into Eldar's turn with Liam. We just finished Jay's turn. So, like we said before, he's switched to the Leviathan. He was previously putting Catechism of Fire on the Scorpius. He's now got that on the Leviathan. And most of Jay's army was working away on the Wave Serpent that is now moved up to the objective in Jay's deployment zone on the left, as I'm looking at it. It's on 5 wounds left, it looks like. And the rest of Jay's army was trying to finish off one of the Night Spinners that are just tucked away in Liam's deployment zone. And Liam has hidden pretty well his fire prisms. Like Tom said, they're linking fire. As soon as Jay gets rid of one of those, he won't be able to use that stratagem anymore. But Liam is basically hugging the edge of the board, hugging the line of sight blocking terrain, ducking and weaving as much as he can to keep out of line of sight of these devastating Iron Hands. The Chaplain Dread in the middle of Death Alley just sneaking out and had a shot at the Night Spinner. 2 hits, 2 wounds, but he did very minimum damage. I think he only did about 3 or 4 damage. So we're just heading into finishing Liam's movement phase, and we'll see how he can respond to Jay's turn. Back to you guys in the commentary booth.
In the booth. Welcome back to the tSports Network live coverage. Rob and Tom, and we. Tom, the Eldar look like they're playing a good game. They're up on 11 points, but Jay with his Iron Hands on 13. Are we going to see another Iron Hands victory?
No.
You don't think
I'm
so?
calling it now. We're going to see the Eldar win this game.
Tell me why. Tell me why.
The Eldar win this game is firstly, Jay is running out of stuff. He doesn't really have the capability to remove all of these remaining Eldar vehicles. He only removed one last turn, and that was the one in the bottom right-hand corner in combat with the Thunderfire Cannon, right? So, if you're only able to remove one each turn average, you still don't have enough turns to kill more, and the Eldar fire output is so spread out, it just keeps coming. Second of all, when Jay runs out of stuff, he's also going to give access away to a bunch of points, specifically because this, Headhunter. Liam hasn't scored any Headhunter points yet, but the amount of screen that Liam has, that Jay has,
is diminishing.
Is diminishing.
It is and diminishing returns, like late-stage capitalism.
Right. I mean, it is, yeah. You've got these Night Spinners going straight in and going to be bombarding things out the side. Now, if Jay can somehow find a way to hide all of his stuff from the remaining Eldar army, and then that pushes Liam to being solely reliant upon the Night Spinners, you won't have enough time to remove all the screen and remove the characters. The problem is, Jay can't really hide anywhere, specifically because of these fire prisms. And they're always going to be able to get some access to you. And remember, Falcon's just everywhere. You've got one here, you've got one, that's a fire prism, we don't really mind that one. You've got another Falcon up here. That's a Wave Serpent down here, I believe. I don't know if that still has Serpent Shields. If it does, that's even more wounds. You don't really mind. And it's harder to remove as well. That's also potentially going to deny you Line Breakers, because as Liam has the second turn, that is going to mean he can deny a couple.
There we are. Look,
there.
we're in Death Valley, the Alley of Terror, as it's known. There is the Leviathan Dreadnought, the terror that we speak. At the back is a Fire Prism doing his work. Threatening. There's the other Dreadnought as well. Our cameraman definitely Right, a bit.
He's
skewy.
doing a Dutch angle.
Yeah, it's Dutch angle. That is.
That's
So that
what he's
works.
doing.
But it looks lovely. But it's pretty cool, right? Like that enclosed. That's what that Death Alley looks like. Just that enclosed space. That's what it looked like if you were a Marine inside of it. Pretty daunting.
Apart from all of the bodies that are underneath the Marines are obviously missing. So, that would be a problem. I do agree with Neil Kerr's point, though, in the chat. Ground control over Headhunter. Now, what ground control is you get a point for every objective you're stood on in the last turn. Well, if you're going second, which obviously you don't know, if you're going second, what's going to that means is, well, I can just jump on all the objectives and I'll get my points. If you're going first, well, I just kill your army and I get all the points. So either way, it's a win-win, really. I think he picked Headhunter because there were a load of characters in the list. I think it's going to be okay for him, as Neil says.
I mean, choosing those secondaries is super important. And again, like me and Nick talked about previously, obviously Nick and I based in Nottingham, and you, Tom, as well, we get to game a lot of Warhammer World, but around the rest of the world, a lot of people don't play anything other than either ETC or ITC wargaming. But with the ITC stuff, we very rarely have seen King of the Hill put some units in the centre. But ever since, while we've been here, I've seen King of the Hill chosen at least twice out of these 9 games. And that's because people are planning on fighting over this centre objective, right?
Yeah. Well, also, Iron Hands take it because they're incredibly durable. You just walk in the middle and you go...
Well, no, actually, now, if we could just quickly... actually, it's the WTC Worlds. Or Worlds. That's the thing. But Neil in the chat, as the head judge of 40k ETC for 10 years.
I don't think he was referring for the 10 years, but he was definitely around for the 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
And super exciting news about the WTC, obviously, in the future.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. Teams from all around the world coming for a specific 40k event to compete in the biggest event of its type ever.
And some of us turn up to eat ice cream.
Very exciting times. I'm very much looking forward to seeing it and hearing about all the teams, actually. So ETC, ITC, ITV. Right, yes, I would like to go to table 3 where we saw the huge explosion, and there's a lot less Iron Hands and a lot of Crimson Fists, and that is update that we're getting now from Nick on table 1.
3.
Okay, so we're live on table 3. We're into the start of turn 4 for Liam, the Crimson Fist player. He's got most of his army left, and Terence has got lots of characters and 3 intercessors. He's got a Tech Marine, he's got Ferios, he's got a Librarian, another Tech Marine, and 3 intercessors, and a Smash Captain on bike. Previously in Terence's turn, the Smash Captain on bike attempted a charge round the corner of that ruin into the 10-man intercessor squad. Took some Overwatch, but then it failed the charge. This looks like it's going to be the last turn. Terence has much chance of clawing some points back. So I really think Liam is going to be able to mop up most of his army. On second, it's relatively close on points. So it's 15-14 to Liam. Liam has all but 5 of his secondaries, and Terence has got a potential 6 secondaries to score. But I think Terence is running out of models, so he's going to run out of units to actually score those points with. So it's looking pretty bad for Terence at the minute. Back to you guys in the commentary booth.
It is looking bad. That explosion, though, was probably going to be one of the things of the weekend. Yeah, especially the CP reroll from the 6 into the 6. It's a really big deal. So yeah, I mean that game's all but over effectively. Like there is still 3 turns, or 2, or maybe 3 turns to play through in this game. But it's just going to rack up points from this stage on.
I'd really like Jay to come back on table 2 actually, even though he's against Eldar, because if Liam's could stop winning, that'd make game 5 and game 4 tomorrow much easier. We already have 2 Toms, and it's a problem. Yeah. We need to sort out Liam's now. We're out of control.
Yeah, it's very important, especially for the coverage. Going over to table 2 now, because I'm invested in this. I feel like table 1 is...
This is the close game.
This is the close game now. Yeah. Table 3 is over. We're going to call that for the Crimson Fist. Table 1, I think, is pretty much over with. But let's go to table 1 very quickly. And as you can see there, it's at 16-11 already. That's already the score. The old school is going to clock in as well when Paul gets the opportunity to get that later on. So there's going to be at least another point on there. I don't think he's going to get the Warlord point, but I think he is going to get it. I also don't think he's going to get a Line Breaker, or not anytime soon anyway. So I think that's very close. But he's going to get some more points where I don't think Wayne's got the opportunity or even the units to score any more points going forward.
I agree, especially with the secondaries that he was looking at. He doesn't really have the ability to pressure the board and try and get those points either. So I feel like that game is going to be done. I feel like it'd be maybe... I feel like it'd probably be a mid-30s win for Paul on that table.
Yeah, very good. Actually, so why don't we just take a minute to find out, before we find out what's happening on table 2, if we can just look at the faction win percentage that's going on at this tournament from round 2.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. That going into this round, this was some of the score. The
Asuryani.
It's only one player, but he is currently undefeated.
Yeah.
He's on stream right now. 2 Tau players, but they've only got only one of them is undefeated at this stage. And then you've got that was going into this, and then they've got Eldari and Astartes as well. So their win rate's fairly low.
Have the Necrons dropped off the bottom of the board?
They have. Well, 'cause it only goes to 15. Only goes to 15 factions.
Oh dear.
The Orcs though taking a full drubbing, which is hilarious. Yeah, Necrons have fallen off the board
Below the 1% armies of 0% armies of Thousand Suns. Death Guard
so the Death Guard guys haven't won any games so far. Thousand Suns. Obviously, when we tune in, if you tune into round 4 tomorrow, we'll get the update. So getting those faction win percentages at the event live is all thanks to DUP. So down under pairing. So it's a really cool little system that we got going on. And if we can actually see who's in the we'll see who's in the lead later on. But yeah, F's in the chat for the Metal Granddads. Those old metal dudes are struggling. Let's get back to table 2. Sorry, I keep getting my numbers wrong in this situation. And just look at this, because I think this is the game now. This is the game to cover, get shots on, because obviously it's close. You think that they're going to run away with it at the stage. I agree that Eldar are going to win. But I got to say, have you seen this list knocking around quite a lot?
The Eldar list?
The Mech Eldar list?
Oh, yeah.
You have?
I've seen it loads.
Okay. What is it? Why do people generally tend
it's
to...
durable and it shoots and it moves.
Okay. It's got the... Because we talked about it, right? It's got the triangle.
Generally, for a list to be really, really good, it has to beat whatever's meta at the time. Well, Iron Hands are very meta at the time. Well, how do Iron Hands deal with this? They don't kill that many vehicles in one go. The Eldar shooting is horrifically brutal with expert crafts and masterful engineers. I believe the 2 are called. So masterful shots, expert crafters, there you are. So that means that all the Eldar units get to reroll 1 hit roll and 1 wound roll every time they fire, and they get to ignore cover. That is specifically good on the change I've often seen with these Eldar mech units lists is you don't take as many Wave Serpents and you instead take Vibro Cannon. Vibro Cannon are incredibly efficient at utilising that extra reroll, and they're only 35 points each.
No way.
They're like Smasher Guns, but really good. And Smasher Guns are really good.
Smasher Guns are really good. Smasher Guns are my faves. But not when they're made of crystals. They're the worst versions.
Yeah.
So we've got an update now coming from our table boss, our man in the field, Nikos in the Thickos. That's right. He's going to let us know what's happening on table 2.
So on table 2, we're at the bottom of turn 4. Liam has just completed his shooting phase. He's working away at the intercessors at the this area of the board. He was trying to clear that intercessor squad off that objective. He put most of his shooting into it, and Jay kept 1 model next to Ferios and 1 on the objective. But then Liam popped his Serpent Shields on the Wave Serpent to kill 1 more model, and then he's just elected to charge the Wave Serpent into the Intercessor, but it doesn't look like he's made the charge. I think he rolled a low charge to fail to get in, and that would have potentially denied hold more. Secondaries, I'll just update you guys on the secondary score. So Liam has got 1 Headhunter so far, 2 Recons, and 3 marked for death, so he's got a potential 6 more points to score from that. But Jay has 4 Big Game Hunters, 2 marked for death, and 2 King of the Hills. He's got a potential 4 more secondaries. And they are pretty much tied on primaries, so this game is going right to the wire. Back to you guys in the commentary booth.
So I told you, that King of the Hill. That King of the Hill, durable block into the center.
Liam needs to be getting points faster. He needs to be getting them faster.
I mean, can he be getting? I mean, he's got 3 around. Like, he's only dropped 1 from like either not getting hold more or kill more. So the problem surely is that the King of the Hill is just devastating. He's playing a really solid game.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
he's playing a really solid game.
So the things I'm looking out for right now are the 2 secondaries. The first secondary I'm looking out for on Jay's side is marks for death. He's already got 2. You need to know where the other 2 marks for deaths are, because if they are things like this Wave Serpent and this Falcon, then those are relatively easy pickups, right? I don't think it'll be the Wave Serpent because they're generally more durable, so you have no need to put them on the hair, and I don't think it'll be the Night Spinners. So I'd imagine it'll have been the 3 Falcons and then maybe one of the Fire Prisms, or maybe one of the Wave Serpents. I'm not sure. If you can get those 2 points, that gives him a nice buffer between himself and Liam. So Liam has a way to go, which means Liam is going to need those Headhunter points. Taking Headhunter over ground control really could come back to bite him if he doesn't manage to crack that nut.
Yes, I absolutely agree with all of those statements. I think also, again, talking about not the abuse, but the tactical knowledge that you're going to go and you're going to be fighting in this center. I mean, obviously, when he deployed, he chose his secondary, and he was like, "I'm going to go for King of the Hill."
Yeah.
But you take the survivability of a Leviathan Dreadnought, and then you surround it with at least 2 sides fully protected from shooting anywhere else on the board, and you're in a really solid place.
Yeah. Well, here's my thing. I think that Liam needs to crack this nut, and he needs to crack it now. He needs to crack it in turn 5, because if he cracks it in turn 6, that could well be too late for him to remove these characters.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's those 2 head-home points. You think that's where it's all about?
Well, he's got 4 available.
Yeah, he's got 4
available. So if we're looking at this earthquake that's going on at this table, absolutely, it's so disgusting the amount of Eldar firepower that's going on. The table is literally shaking. We have a Chaplain Dreadnought stood at the top side. There's one a Headhunter. We've got the Leviathan. Oh, hello. That's actually easier. So Chaplain Dreadnought, Leviathan, where are the other 2 characters? That's going to be a really big deal. Do we still have that Tech Marine hiding in the bottom left L? We may do, because we only killed the Thunderfire Cannon so far. It's getting a bit tricky. He needs to be able to dig these out.
Yeah, if you want to see what the lists are, you can just look at them in the chat, because the Tech Marine is still there, FYI.
Yeah, so there is a Tech Marine in the
see what you
bottom
think
left
of
there,
these 2 lists. I mean, the Iron Hands list is not particularly different to most things that you've seen. Although the Relic Scorpius is a thing. I know it's really good, and you do see it a lot. It's very expensive, but it is a thing. But those lists are in there. But this Mekdar list is really genuinely quite fun. I'm enjoying it, and looks like an army you can put together fairly quickly as well. So a Wave Serpent just died. What got shot here? That's the real question.
I would imagine the Leviathan. Oh. There you go. So it was the Leviathan. Also, Rangers have got out of it. Do you know what that means? Sniper rifles. Do you know what that means? Headhunter points. That's what
you're hoping for. You're really rooting for this Eldar win, right?
Of course I am.
Of course you are.
I've got to. Even if Jay is my old teammate, I need to hope he loses.
Oh,
bless him.
Come on, you can do it,
what
Jay.
What are friends for if you're not bullying people? I think it's fine. So,
oh, look what else just got taken off the board there.
What happened?
That is another, just here, a Fire Prism.
That's big.
That's huge. Fire Prism just got lifted off the board.
That said, there are no command points left anyway, so no one's going to get to link fire anyway, so you couldn't be.
But still a Fire Prism, even if it was bracketed. Yeah, so we've just heard that the game wrapped up on table 3.
That was the Astraeus.
So is it updated? We'll go to the top down for table 3, and we'll see that's how it stopped. A 32-point win.
Secondaries.
Look at that for the Crimson Fists. Really big, huge. Man,
no
max
bonus
secondaries.
Points, though.
What?
He didn't get any bonus points, though.
No, he didn't. But it's still a huge
win.
win.
Oh wait, that's a lie, because you'll have missed out on. In fact, how do you get that?
Well, it's fine. It's good.
It's all right.
It's good. That's the final score: 32 points to 14. Great game. Let's go back to table 2. Table 1 is obviously still in action, but I'm pretty certain that's going to end up with that Imperial Fist win.
Yeah, you've still got 2 Scorpius, but they're again back in the corner there as well. It appears that Imperial Fist is where have some of them gone? There are quite a few around here. That's still Tor Garridon in that corner there. Still got a few that are around here. Quite a few of the Sems have gone missing. It's entirely possible the Imperial Fist is just hiding inside these L's at this point. I'm just saying. Come at me.
It could be. It could be. But look at that. It's now a 21 to 11 point difference.
See, the gap hasn't got much bigger, but it's got bigger.
It's good. Yeah.
Not much bigger.
Not much bigger, but it has got bigger. And there we go. There's some more points put on the board now, so it's actually 21-13.
Okay, so it hasn't got bigger.
Yeah, but you've still got another turn to come for the Astartes, for those Imperial Fists. They're going to put some more points on the board, and I think there's no way that Wayne can claw those back.
Who knows? Maybe Wayne has both old school and ground captain.
Right, okay, so we've just heard
Smash captain's down, isn't he?
the Smash Captain has just died to a second Las Cannon Centurion squad.
Yeah,
Right, back on table 2, because this is where I think the action is. Although I think the loss of that Wave Serpent, Tom, do you feel that is the end? There's still a Wave Serpent up in this corner. Normally you'd be able to see it, but the cameras have taken a cooking.
They have been taking a cooking from this table.
From everyone.
Yeah, everyone just wandering around and getting very into it. It shows quite how focused the players are on the game and not so much on the camera equipment, which is absolutely
Which
fine.
is fair.
Which is fair. I can't blame them for that one. There it is. You can see it in the top right corner there. It looks like some wound markers being adjusted on that one, so I would imagine Jay is shooting at it. I feel like Jay needs to do some serious damage this turn. There we go. So Chaplin's just shot the Fire Prism. That Fire Prism has 2 wounds left, meaning
That's
it's
the
now
one
hitting
up here.
on 5s. There you go. Thank you. Good spot. So that's now hitting on 5s, which is a decent result there. We are running very low on Eldar vehicles, actually.
We are. I thot you said they weren't going to die.
They shouldn't, but he's had to push, trying to use characters now.
He has.
It's the problem with
Why
Headhunter.
did he choose Headhunter then?
It was a mistake.
You think that was a mistake? You think that was one of the issues?
I agree, 100%. So we've got 1 Fire
What would
Prism
you have
on top
chosen
right.
instead of
Ground
Headhunter?
control.
Ground
Which is why you don't
control
need to
to
push until the end.
Major Eldar.
Yeah.
That one.
And you go big fast, and it's fine.
Okay.
So, you're alright. So, if we look at the board,
I mean, surely
top-down
Recon.
view, we can see. I mean, Recon's one of those, but it kind of forces you to be spread out a bit more. And you don't
But
really
it looked like he deployed like he was going to spread out anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you can, but...
Yeah, Headhunter's an odd one.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Recon's probably better as well, I agree. So you've got 2 Night Spinners, they're still spooky. You've still got a very low Fire Prism in this corner. That's a Fire Prism. Look at that, excellent drawing skills. Oh, look at that, alright drawing skills. Those are Night Spinners. And then down here you've got a single Falcon F.
Yeah. look at
F in chat. So that's Recon. Did we have Recon on Liam already, actually? That may have been a possibility.
Oh no, yeah, we're looking at the secondaries, obviously for Jay.
Right now.
That's my bad.
So
Sorry, everyone at home.
Can't take it twice. That'd be OP.
Yeah, it would be too good.
Bad. Can't stack Recons. Never mind.
There we go. So, thanks very much. Yeah, he has got Recon. He has, so that he did make the right choice. It was not Recon that he chose. You can't. It's Headhunting.
Although now I need to see Liam kill at least 2 units here, because you've lost a Fire Prism, you've lost a Wave Serpent. Have the Rangers gone down in the bottom right hand corner as well? I'm not entirely sure. I can't really see. So we need to work out if he's killed 3 units, that could become a problem.
Okay, so Tom, interesting point that's been raised. From our table boss, Tom. We've covered 9 games today. Now, obviously, there's a scenario, a mission in every single one of the games that they've played. But so far, battle points wise, that we've tracked, there's only been 1 bonus point. 1 bonus point scored in 9 games that we've covered this weekend. What do you think of that?
Who are we to suggest that ITC missions have no flavour?
Add the Nova Elves, and it's like the same game over and over. But no, regardless of your feelings on it, the information that's actually quite wild.
It's the stats.
It's
It's not my opinion. It's raw.
I mean,
data.
it's only from the 9 games that we've covered, but it's still a very interesting fact, I think.
Yeah, but there's 6 available points in every single game. You've played 9 games. It's a lot of points to drop. It's 54 bonus points, and we've got 1. Now,
one
it
was
could be
scored.
possible, but we're just garbage with 40k.
It could be.
I mean, it's true, though.
Also, we've seen a lot of sit off, stand off. Oh, that's not true. I mean,
we've had Iron Hands walking in the middle of the board. We've got 4 Marine armies.
That's true. But I just thought it was an interesting stat to raise with everyone, because ultimately, those bonus points aren't worth loads in a singular game.
They can swing it a little bit.
But they
1 or
can
2
swing
points.
it, yeah. But 6, and giving up your secondaries versus those bonus points. But
it's better to go for the safe points, I think, rather than try and spread out for 1 point. It's not like domination.
Which is maybe why you're seeing people do it. I'm sure there's someone who's written a good article out there in the world, probably the Goonhammer guys. Yeah, I'm sure someone in the world has written a good article.
How bad bonus points are.
Yeah, maybe. But interesting conversation. Right, going back to table 2, we got some hot goss, I think.
Do we?
Oh, so he's moved one of his vehicles up. Our table boss might be able to give us.
I don't think he's getting recon next turn, you know.
Oh.
Let's have a look at the trajectory. That's what it would look like, right?
Yeah.
Assuming the board's straight, but that is nowhere near a recon. Absolutely nowhere near.
Nowhere near for recon. So currently, the Chaplain Dreadnought, who's based here, is in trouble. Is in trouble. The snipers.
So are these the snipers in the bottom right-hand corner that are shooting? Because I know there are still some snipers up towards the top right. So bottom left snipers. Ah, right, there we go. So yeah, that is the snipers in the top right-hand corner there. I'm not sure what became of these snipers that hopped out the wave stepping earlier. Maybe they hopped back into a Falcon. I'm not entirely sure.
Potentially. So yeah,
he's used a bike. Right,
yeah,
that's why. That's why I was confused about recon, because I could not see the bike.
So that bike though is located on Objective 3. If we go to the top down, you will see that Objective 3 is.
Ooh.
No, just go to the top down. God.
Over here.
There we go.
And I believe, Rob,
there's
a Tech Marine in there as well.
There is a Tech Marine in there as well.
So that's one Headhunter here. That's one Headhunter.
Well, that's
here.
only if he kills the Tech Marine.
It is. This is true. This
yeah.
is true.
What do you think the likelihood is it will kill the Tech Marine?
In 2 turns, good. In 1 turn, not so good.
Yeah. So into the charge phase.
Yeah. So what we're looking for here, we haven't actually done too much damage. There's an Intercessor on his own. Oh, that could be very good for the top. That could be for the more kill points, because you've only killed 2 units maximum here. If you kill the Chaplain Dread and this and that, there we go. So, is that the Intercessor that's dead, sorry? Or is that the Falcon that died in Overwatch? Yes. So, the Intercessor has died, so that's already a kill point. There's a good chance that you're going to get Hold More as well, because you stood on 4 objectives.
So it was shooting. It was from shooting.
Alright. So, you're going to get Hold More here. You could get a couple of Headhunters. I don't think you're going to get Kill More, though. I think Jay may secure a Kill More point to put him up to 22, which means that gap's still getting bigger, which means turn 6 is going to be an absolute humdinger, because you need to get a lot of points for Liam to win this game.
Yeah, he really, really does. There is that Chaplain Dread. He's got 7 wounds left. Yeah, he's still alive. He's not going down anytime soon, which is fine. Like, I mean, because...
I can't believe you're rooting for the Iron Hands.
I just hate Eldar, Tom. It's your fault and competitive Eldar players for the past 2 years, and I don't mind picking a side. And I'm emotionally, at the end of the day, also, Iron Hands, no matter how you feel about them this month, as a Horus Heresy player myself, I've always felt very sad for them. Their Primarch died. Yeah. Hashtag spoilers. Their Primarch
That's only
died.
like book 5.
So the Knight. So we're in the shooting phase for Eldar. There we go. We're going to slowly move around the battlefield there, and we'll see some. There we go. So the Night Spinner that we're looking at just killed.
Some nice highlights on the back.
It's actually genuinely really nice.
Yeah.
It just killed some Night Spinners. There we go.
Killed some Intercessors.
Intercessors, sorry.
Killing
the Night Spinner killed some Intercessors. Oh,
yeah.
I agree. It looks lovely. So it's looking downfield.
Yeah, so that was as we confirmed it earlier. We were talking about who'd get Kill More, who'd get Hold More. I believe that the Iron Hands got Kill More and the Eldar got Hold More. They didn't really secure any Headhunters, though. So it's going to be a massive turn 6. And Liam needs a big turn 6 to swing this game.
He does. He really does. Once we get those points updated, you guys will see it along with us. Hey Reflex, by the way, in the chat. Welcome to everyone. If you guys have been watching, don't forget tomorrow we've got 2 more rounds here from the Vale Renegade Echoes of War 4. So the Vale Renegade guys are a group of dudes. They've got a wargaming club.
Really big club.
Really big club in Wales. Really nice guys, and they've made us feel super welcome. So thank you for having us. But tomorrow we've got 2 more rounds, and you can join us for it as well. I've enjoyed doing it. Tom and the team have been fantastic. Nick, Tom, and John. Yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and let us know if you have. Because
I don't think that swing needs to be as big as I previously thought. That's a 3-point gap. That's a 3-point swing. Although it's still a big swing if he runs out of vehicles. That Fire Prison is incredibly low in the top right-hand corner. It's only got 2 wounds remaining. You then have 3 Eldar vehicles, including 2 Night Spinners, and then that Falcon that's right out in the open in front of the Iron Hands army. You can try and plink a couple of wounds off this Fire Prism in the top right-hand corner here, and then try and remove this Falcon. That leaves 2 Night Spinners and some Rangers to try and overturn a swing. Although, that's now 22-22. We might as well have just not played for the last 2 hours.
Why?
Because it's a draw, isn't it?
It's a draw. It's very close. It's very close.
2 and 6,
with
everything to play for.
With Eldar currently active. They've both scored.
There have been 2 bonus points. They are like London buses.
Wow. Okay. Once you start the reign, it happens. At some point, we're going to find out the Necron player won his game as well, and everything will be to play for at this event. It is wild. 22 each. Very, very close. Looking. Yeah. Dave Frazier, if you would like the lists, just say so. No problem. They will be in the chat in but a moment. There we go.
Boom. That kind of. Yes.
Easy peasy. So there you go. They're all available. If you want to look at the list for the event, you could just obviously go on the Downloaded Pairings website, and if you just search for Echoes of War 4, which is the event we're at, is easy peasy, or just follow those links as stated. Thanks very much.
Ooh.
So the Apothecary has brought back
An intercessor.
The current turn active is for Iron Hands. It's Iron Hands who are active. They are going to get this turn 5. Then we've got 48 minutes left on the round. It could be a very slow 48 minutes.
Some people like to boo-hoo apothecaries. I love apothecaries.
I'm not a boo-hoo an
Especially
apothecary.
rain-out apothecaries.
Like, listen, this is an apothecary's job, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're a Space Marine, yeah? You're trying quite hard, right? You're probably a Space Marine Scout, because this happens a lot, yeah? You're a Space Marine Scout, and then all of a sudden, a Hive Tyrant just comes and just swipes you into pieces. The Apothecary's running over, yeah? Hive Tyrant's flying overhead, yeah? Or, Termagants are just, like, bounding around. You're getting shot by Horsepexes. Who knows what's happening? I can't remember if they have guns. And then, I'll have to double-check.
They have those little needle things.
Yeah, they do. But you're an Apothecary, and you go in and you extract the gene seed from out of those dead scouts. Like, who doesn't rate? Are you talking about gamers? Gamers.
That's a lot of dice rolled. I'm not entirely sure what for. I know there's Catechism of Fire on the...
Don't bring up dice from just being rolled. It's useless.
+1 a wound. So, that's quite a lot of damage potentially done from the Chaplain. So you've got the Chaplain, still got the Leviathan. Leviathan is having a go at the Falcon right now. Going to see if that blows up. We were talking about it earlier. It's right out in the open. It's one vehicle that could potentially go down. And if not, there's a bunch of Space Marines. They look like one Apothecary, Ironfather Theros, and a squad of Intercessors wandering down to that bottom objective, just having a nice leisurely stroll through the park, because all the naughty elves are gone.
Yes, they could do, and it's funny watching just like the sheer tenacity of the Iron Hands army, just absolutely dauntingly resistant to output and damage. Oh, there we go. Look what just got lifted.
Yeah, that went, didn't it?
It got lifted. Yeah. That Night Spinner is
Leviathans
gone.
are quite good, mate.
They are quite good, those Leviathans. He's just stood inside here. He's just like, pops out, shoots something.
I mean, I'm not going to say we called it, but we called it. But they would just stay in there the entire game.
Yeah. Well, I actually thought that would be a disadvantage, personally. Like, I thought if there was enough Eldar flyers around the flanks, like they could keep themselves out. The problem, because like you said, that they're here and here, here and here. So if you could keep inside those zones, and that's where your fire is, and you could, but he did have to push into those lanes to start doing the damage.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. Wait a minute, that Prism only had 2 wounds. So Ironfather Theros just done 2 wounds to the Prism in the corner and killed it with his heavy bottler.
So over
Ironfather Theros getting in on the action.
Ironfather Theros.
Right, yeah. Sorry, it's difficult to never remember when I can't even see it on the screen.
Yeah.
So that's that. We've still got the Chaplain Dreadnought, which I believe is probably going to end up firing at one of the Night Spinners. If he gets very, very lucky. It looks like something's gone there. Yeah. Chaplain's firing at the Night Spinners, as we called it. Looks like he's just rolling that one out now. See how much damage he does to it. Potentially could knock it down a couple backs. 11 damage, Rob.
11?
That is a lot of damage. I'm not sure which Night Spinner it is, but it's pretty much irrelevant at this point, unless it means that it's going to go down to like some little bits. Alright, so it looks
this
like
one here on the flank is got one wound left. Remaining. Come on, at this stage, it's oh no,
it works. Eldar's Timbo, that Night Spinner is still alive, and that means
with only a wound though.
But here's the thing, that's important because that's only 2 units killed. for the purposes of kill more, right? And we know how important those are when you've got 20, when it was 22 all. So Jay managed to pick up 23 points there, so he's up to 25. That could extend, probably, to a kill more if you only get one kill with the Eldar army. I would assume that the Eldar are probably going to get hold more at this point. The question is, do they get kill more? You've still
I don't think they're going to get hold more. Look, because he's holding 1, 2, 3. This
You hold that one. You hold that one. You need to find one more. Can you kill this unit off here? But do you even go for that? Because you need to kill characters for your headhunter. This could be the thing that actually swings the game. The lack of the headhunter.
So the Farseer, who is here, so he'll be hidden from Overwatch, is charging the Leviathan.
I would assume that means that the Tech Priest in the corner is dead then.
Yeah, the Tech Priest in the corner is dead.
So we need to find. So where can we find 3 points, and where can we deny kill more? So we need to kill 2 units, and we need to find 3 or 4 points somewhere. 3 points for the draw, 4 points for the win. So first of all, you need to kill 2 units. That's absolutely mandatory. You then need to probably deny hold more as well, which means one of those units that you kill has to be the squad on the top, which looks to me, I don't think that Chaplain Dread is in the objective. I'm trying to have a look in real time so I can see it. Looks to me you've just got 1 intercessor on that objective. I don't know how many intercessors are left in that squad. It looks to me like it's about 3. There you are. So you need to kill 3 intercessors in that squad, and you need to find another kill from somewhere else. That way you can then contest hold more, you can contest kill more, and when then you've got a killed a unit, held an objective, and you need to find 1 point from somewhere to draw the game. I don't know where that point comes from. Mark for death. I'd be interested to see which unit is marked for death.
Yeah, which unit is marked for death?
Liam.
That's a great question.
Headhunter, I think that's a bit of a push now. You need to kill this unit down here. Obviously, you need to find another kill somewhere. If that kill is this Chaplain Dreadnought, there. You've got 2 kills. You've got a Headhunter as well. That's your point for the draw. You then need to find another point to try and win the game. This is going to be very, very
close. And while we're waiting for that...
No. Who's Liam marked for death is what we're looking for.
Okay. Yeah. So I hear what you're saying. It's very close. It's gonna be very tense. To see how many wounds left on the Chaplain Dread is a great question. I think he's got 7.
Yeah.
He had 7 previously. It's gonna be close.
We're getting the shuriken catapults out now as well.
But with 41 minutes on the board, the players do not have to play fast. But at the end of a 9...
Civics died? I think that was... So,
that's one kill?
I believe that was a Farseer shooting at the Lieutenant with shuriken catapults. That's huge because that is kill 1.
Yep.
That is Headhunter.
That's 2.
That's 2. And then you just need to hold an objective. That's 3.
That's a draw.
It would be Smote.
Wait, no, he wasn't even shot. He was smite and execution. Smoten.
But that's not quite a draw because still Jay has kill more.
Don't worry about it. Like let's let the game happen as it is.
I'm trying to explain what's going on.
Yeah, no, I know. We're very. So we're in the psychic phase, moving into the shooting phase. Well, we just had the psychic phase, right? It's okay, and that means that we've lost. That's what killed the lieutenant. So now we still got the shots potentially from this. From the bike here to go into other units, which is fun. The
Night
Spinners have still got their shooting in as well. So we're close. We're close because we're looking. Because surely he's looking to kill more. Yeah, because if he kills 2.
Well, even then, Jay's score is only 24 at the minute. So if you get the 3 points and you deny the kill more, you're probably going to win the game. And I think.
Well, I don't know. There's still another turn in it.
Yeah. Well, this is turn 6.
No, this is turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is bottom of 5, so turn 6 is coming.
Wait, is this turn? Oh, it is. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I thought it was turn 6. That's why I was getting excited.
I know. So I pulled it down.
You could have just told me it was turn 5. That would have pulled it down much faster. But never mind.
So we're into turn. Yeah. So the Chaplain Dreadnought is now down. Down. Oh, 2 more wounds into the Dreadnought.
Oh dear.
And he exploded. No. That's terrible news. That's terrible
poor
news.
Jay.
And then he took out a couple of. He also took out a couple of intercessors as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, scouts.
Intercessors.
Yeah. So they've gone down as well. So the scouts killed the Dreadnought.
The Rangers.
Rangers killed the Dreadnought.
Rangers. Yes.
With those mortal wounds. So how good's that? Some proc 6s on the to wound roll causes a procced 6-up.
Mortal wounds.
Mortal wounds that go through. In addition, they kill the Dreadnought. That explodes. That does a 6. Is this the same Iron Hands that killed the Necrons? It is. Yeah. So.
Vengeance for George.
Vengeance for the Necrons, because the Necrons can't do it themselves, so someone else has got to do it. So it's getting very close to. So that's, by the way, that's another kill. So that's 2 now.
Yeah. So that's going to block Jay's ability to get kill more.
Yeah, it's going to block it.
The question is, can he
Webstone
get
is still
hold
haven't
more?
shot though.
Sorry?
No,
they haven't. No, they have.
Oh no, they have. So it's
that
the end of turn 5.
So that does mean Jay is going to get hold more. Oh, fast is charging.
There we go.
There you go, because the Leviathan here cannot see that Farseer. And the Farseer is in.
He's made the charge, so he's locked the Leviathan in.
Does the Leviathan punch it to death with its long, stumpy entrance?
Yeah, maybe.
Bonk him off his bike like a lance.
Yeah, well, let's find out. Let's find out if you can just kick him off the bike, flying through space. Have we got a shot on that? That'd be cool. Oh, no, hidden in there. No damage from from who?
The Farseer, I would assume.
Yeah.
Has done no damage.
Okay, so no damage has come back from the Leviathan there. So that combat is done. So we have got 38 minutes left. We've got 1 round left.
Apparently.
So we are very, very close. I think, if that's right, we'll double check. It might not be right. We'll wait. We'll take it time.
We'll give it time.
So now look.
It needs to update, doesn't it?
So the Iron Hands here. Look at this. Iron Hands here. They're engaged. They're ready to rock. So that's that unit of.
The Leviathan can't shoot. He needs his buddies to carry him.
The Leviathan can't shoot, so he's immediately moved out of combat. This unit is moving. Oh, so that's the Tech Marine. Oh no, is that Ferios?
So you've got Ferios down here on the bottom left of the screen right now. You've got an Apothecary over here, and you've got a squad of 5 Intercessors. I'll take that away because Jay's moving things. So
that Ferios is surely going to try and get in combat here, and whomp the Eldar on a bike. There's a Farseer, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So he's going to try and take out that Farseer.
Yeah, both Smite and Executioner, and only Farseers can take Executioner. So it should be the case.
So the Intercessors Intercessors are shooting him first to soften him up before Ferios goes and chops his head off. Let's see if that's achievable. He's going to need that for the point, because he doesn't have any other way of scoring those kill points now. The Leviathan Dread, who's been doing incredible work up until this point, is very, very close. It's coming down to. So, straight down to 2 wounds. Straight down, taking 4 wounds straight away.
That's disappointing.
I mean, Ferios has got his shots as well. Don't forget, he's gone to Ferios. There we go. So that's a kill point right on the board. So that puts him up to 27.
And remember, this Night Spinner on the left-hand side is only on 1 wound. That's an easy kill.
Oh, but who's shooting it?
These 2 Interceptors.
No way.
Go on, Beth.
The Intercessors?
Yeah, mate.
These 2 Intercessors are not going to kill it. Do you reckon?
Why not?
Oh, they did! They got him! Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I called it. So what you could have done to mitigate that was that Night Spinner could have charged.
He went into what?
Into these 2 Intercessors.
Oh, yes, of
Lock
course.
It down.
Well, so then now it's been done to him.
Yeah.
That could have been
it's
a game.
Okay, you've got to fly
but that could have been a huge game-changing move had he done that thing, like you just said. That would have been super close.
This game is insanely close.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
Yeah. It's very swingy. Racking up the points at this stage. They both died from Overwatch, which gets him a kill point.
Yeah, for kill 1 in the battle round.
But then it also tallies it back
up,
right?
Kill
1
on
your
turn, though.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But it's 1. But he's killed that 1.
So he's killed 1 in the battle round, but he hasn't killed 1 in his turn.
Yeah.
So, what's he going to kill in his turn?
He's
where are the small units that are
Let's go up. Kills? Let's go up. Let's just kill that Leviathan Dreadnought, don't you? Just be a gangster.
How low is it?
Well, he's so we're into the Eldar last turn. It's 3 points. So he's straight in. He's definitely not going to charge that. That would be a mistake. He's got. Where are those? Where are the snipers?
So there are some, I believe, in this back right corner over here, and there are a couple more on the hill on the left as well.
Okay.
So they have some shots that can come raining down upon this.
But they can't hit Ferios.
Not too many. They can't hit Ferios because they can't really see him. But they can hit that Leviathan. So imagine if this game comes down to, can you kill the Leviathan?
Can you?
No.
No. Damn it.
No, it's not true. Although we have said, Leviathan
Well,
badge for
you
the first
can.
time in this
All you
round.
need, I now know what I need. I need
Is
to
it
go up
Crimson
by
Fist Army?
Crimson Fist,
Yeah.
6 Centurion Devastators, and I'm laughing.
Yes, and an Apothecary.
And an Apothecary
Of course.
for fun.
An Apothecary.
But I don't have to do that. That's just the laugh at this stage.
All you need to do is go on Amazon.com and buy a large pile of crystals, and that would help you.
Okay, so the Rangers are eyeing up the Apothecary. We might see the Apothecary go down. So that would be the point back.
Oh, that'd be hard to
And it's
get.
also Headhunter, right?
That would be Headhunter, but that's a hard point. That's 5
'Cause
wounds on it.
Yeah, because we're currently in the Asuryani turn. So that's whose turn it is.
What's happened there? Oh, hello, we're getting very excited. The dice are flying all over the place. That's it. Looks like we've only got the 2 hits, though. Or the 2 wounds, one's a mortal. So it's only 1 mortal wound applying to the Apothecary there. That wasn't what he would have hoped for.
Yeah.
But it was a rather optimistic shot anyway. Yeah.
Just 1 wound. It hasn't killed him. It's not going to kill him. It's so close, as if it's just come down to these turns.
Jay's got it.
Yeah, I think he has got it. But it's an incredibly tightly fought game. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. It's come down to just a few dice rolls. So the Knight's been shooting at the intercessors.
This is true.
Looking to take those out. Not forgetting, he killed a unit in Overwatch. So if he can shoot,
I mean, I could be wrong. I feel like there's a few units that are dotted around that we haven't really noticed. So, for example, I can see with the Psyker on this objective here. That's going to get a hold 1 point. What we really need is we really need Liam to get a kill 1 point. 100%
we do, and we're waiting to see if that occurs. I don't think it's going to, but we're waiting.
5 intercessors is a big ask.
Only 2.5 die. However, the morale check's not even going to do it for that.
No,
it's
but what
not
if you
even
charge for Leviathan?
You get fired, you get shot in Overwatch for no reason.
Yeah, it'd be funny.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think that. Oh, there we go. So that's all the actions.
Final score in a second. That was a good game.
That was a very exciting game.
Still don't know what happened, but it was a good game.
What?
I still don't know what happened, but it was a good game.
Well, how do you not know?
Oh,
you were here for the whole
scores,
game. Oh, no, we're about to find out. Live on the screen, we'll see the scores. They'll tally it up. Don't forget that it could be... It's 25-29 right now. We're waiting for these final scores from Liam to come in. It's very, very close. Just make sure that is the perfect final tally. Whew. It's a lot of scorekeeping in ITC. This is the last... Yeah, this is actually the... No, it's not the last game. There's a couple more games looking to tidy up in the rest of the field. And then we've got 2 more rounds tomorrow, so please do join us for that. It's going to be very, very fun. Okay, yeah.
Waiting for that one. Ooh. Oh. It looks like, if that's correct...
There you go. 28-30
to Jay.
28-30.
1 point. Was that 29-30 in the end then?
29-30. There we go.
Either that or 28-29. One of the two. But
either way, it's a win for the Iron Hands. It's a 1 point win. It was a great game. It was a great game. Especially when it gets so tense. All 3 of the games were actually pretty fun. We just saw the biggest tank I've ever seen. Explode. And then re-roll it and explode again all over the place, which is fun. Hi, I'm Rob, by the way. This is Tom, if you've just joined us. And then in the other game, we saw the Admech do what I've always known that they're going to do, Tom. Die. That's correct. Damn it. Anyway, so it's been a fun day of Wargaming. Thank you, Tom, for doing the coverage with me. Thank you to the rest of the TSN team. So Nick, Tom, and John. They've done amazing work today. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, don't forget to tell your friends. You can watch these back for free, or you can tell your friends to watch them back for free, or you can watch them on YouTube maybe later tomorrow or tomorrow night. But if you've enjoyed it, thank you. And don't forget to join us tomorrow. We're going to have a great time because Marines are going to win this event somehow. But which Marines are going to win? That's the question of 40k at the minute. It's not who will win, it's what colour are they going to be.
Getting Marines.
There's no Drukhari even here, I don't think.
There's some Talos fighters.
Anyway, you guys have been great. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for checking out the future of tSports. And we'll see you guys soon. Have a great day.